Bandung is Lautan Api. Sea of Blaze. We're gonna see the fire from both of them. Who gonna win on this match? We'll go to the next stage.
I think in real life they're kind of cool, but in Land of Dawn, this is where the beef at. They're gonna put some fire towards each other, and they're probably gonna prove both of them, both of their counterparts that they are better, even though they play in a different position. So we're gonna take a look at the head-to-head.
So let's take a look at this. Let's compare this. But remember, this is before the changes hit, right? This is the data that we saw overall from the regular season of season 14. But for you, Colius, does anything stand out in particular that we should be looking at?
First of all, Chip is really OP. I think both of them will not really skip for them. And don't forget, with this new, I think, updates for the playoff, I see the Luoyi and Success is really important for the mid lane. That's why, for Roundel itself, his Luoyi and Success users. It's the same with Moreno. That's why it's gonna be the battle of mid laner with the heroes.
And on the Hylos too, I think after looking at Mpl-Id playoffs, Hylos has been dying down in the meta, and Alter Ego, ever since the early start of the season, they've always been pick or ban Hylos to give it to Nino, or just don't want to face it at all because how really annoying that hero is. But right now we're gonna see the keys to victory by Samsung Galaxy S24 FE4 Bigatron Alpha. First of all, give Luke an enabler hero as the playmaker, and Atlas could be a good choice for key. So kind of goes both ways, as Police would say. The two playmakers on the team can give them the benefit of having ways to approach the team fight in different ways. But I'm not really mad at Key ended up on heroes like Matilda or Mpl-Id.
And now keys to victory by Samsung Galaxy S24 FE for Alter Ego maximize highest potential as the carry and force Super Cat into an assassin duel against Nile. I think I agree with both of it because assassin duel will be much better for both of them because both of the champions right now are the best assassin user. And they need to prove it to the audience. It's like we need to see more action in the game with a duel of assassin.
So with that being said, now with the comings of Suyo, do you think the assassins are still a priority pick? I mean, we saw Alpha and Suyo being one of the top priority junglers in the Philippines. Do you think that the assassins can still make their mark if both of these heroes get let go?
I think some of the assassin, yeah, like for Vanny. But for Nolan? For Hayabusa? What do you think of it?
I think there's going to be a chance for that, but I think in the draft itself, the Ling and also the Fanny is going to be heavily contested and also heavily considered to be banned. So I don't know if they're going to make a lot of appearances today, but if it does get let go, you don't want to give Fanny towards Super Cat.
We already see what kind of Vanny that now and Super can use.
Dude, that was brutal. Like, if I was Super Cat, I'd just rage quit. I'd be like, what is this? Niall, do you have like a personal problem with me or something? I mean, 8 kills plus
solo
1,
kills.
8 solo kills plus 1 assisted kill? 9!
That's a lot.
On Super Cat! Like, that's gotta hurt for him. So these picks are going to be imperative. And if we take a look at the earlier, graphics, we now see that Bigatron have first pick, Alter Ego actually have the second pick. As we're entering, ladies and gentlemen, to the drafting phase for game number 1. Our opening match of the day. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is no longer a best of 3. It is now a best of 5. And here it is, the drafting phase presented to you by our official tournament smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. And we're going straight into it. Bigatron with their bands. We have the Gata, the Jushin, the Fanny, Alter Ego Respond with the Chip, and the Matilda. What's going to be the last band, Sheffin?
Oh, I think Suyo might be a band here. Maybe Anidas. Some kind of limitation towards the flexibility of Bigatron Alpha because they're known to be very flexible in the draft, especially with Luke on the XP lane. They're much more prominent in their micro department, but let's see what they're going to choose here. There's a lot of options.
Don't forget about Khalid, because both of the XP laners like Luke and Nino are good at Khalid and Edith. Like Sheffin predicted before, he's getting banned. Now Suyo. This is gonna be first pick for the Bigatron. I think they're gonna need to prioritize the Suyo.
That's fast.
That was quick.
Yeah, it's just like that in Mpl-Id too. Now, for Coach Brett, he has an option to pick the counter. Not really a counter, but a really good matchup against the Suyo, which is an alpha. But I think he's gonna hide it towards the third pick. Right now, Khalid. I guess for Nino, he really likes to use the Khalid, right? And it really brings up a lot of potential in the rotation department. So I think that's a possibility here.
Okay, but circling back onto the Suyo pick, right? Why is this Suyo pick, especially now that we're just opening Mpl-Id, right? Why is it such an important contested pick, and where is the power of the Suyo?
I think, right, the first time I saw this hero and the kit, it's just, this hero is a combination of Nolan, Julian, and Yi Sun-shin all at once. Well, the burst damage is not that great as them, but you know, you can see the flexibility in the way he approaches the team fight. He can poke a little bit, just go out. That's why he's been very prominent in the draft in PH. And now, Coach Rex still going for the Hylos and the Yeef. I like the Yeef though. The Hylos part, now you're gonna get countered by the 1-1, so you gotta watch out for them, you know, pretty much punishing overextension.
Yeah, because they already see Hylos being picked by Alpha Ego. I think 1-1 is the best option right now to have very quick open weakness to the opponents, but Alpha, they need to secure it right now because from head-to-head, Alpha and Suyo are on par, right? If they lose Alpha on the second bending phase, it's gonna be bad for Alter Ego.
See, I understand that, but this is a 1-1 pick into a Yi. Isn't the 1-1 weak against the Yi because of the lack of range?
Maybe, but in terms of kiting 1-1, there's no one that can absolutely, you know, he's the best marksman for that.
And don't forget, Emman is using Mlbb gun.
That is true.
So it can add more range to 1-1.
And also, if Rek didn't ban the Rafaela here, which I don't think that's going to be the case, Rafaela is going to be banned for Alter Ego, because once you have this very high mobility composition, very high mobility main 5, it's going to be very hard for you to engage because you have to be very calculative in all of your approaches. Meanwhile, Coach Rek with the Phobius ban, even though they don't have an HP laner yet, so Luke might see something that's a bit outside of the box here.
What are we used to? Cho? Do you think Cho EXP could make an appearance here?
For a setup, yes. Cho and Kaja might be there, but I don't know, against a Hylos, it kind of brings up the question, like, do you want to use this pickup hero to further enhance 1-1 potential? I think the answer is still going to be yes, but what's going to be the best option is the question for me.
Yeah, because they lack of the XP lane, and for the rumor itself, I think that's why. For Bigatron, Rafaela is Franco. So Rafaela is open. Are we gonna see the old Key, who's using the Rafaela to like supporting their gold lane? Back in the day, Key is supporting the Max at the gold lane on Bigatron.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I remember that. It was a long time ago though.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Very hazy memory of that. But in the second phase now, we do still have one more pick that Bigatron can ban out here. Do they want to go for an Irithel ban? I mean, if they are trying to protect this 1-1 in the lane, looking for the 1-1 to be the prio lane, we've seen that the Irithel has become a really good lane against it, but no, they go for the Hearth instead.
I just realized something. Harriet on Mpl-Id is really priority.
Yeah.
But now, getting that on second bending phase, they didn't even care about Harriet picking on the first piece.
Well, for Alter Ego, I think it makes sense, but for Bigatron Alpha, the one that used Harriet the most, I believe, in the regular season, because Emman just really loves that hero, it's a bit surprising. As we're gonna jump into the second picking phase here for Alter Ego, we got a quite fun fact here for you guys. Throughout the MPL Season 14 playoffs, Chip has a 100% pick and ban rate with 0 picks and 36 bans.
That's what I said, yeah.
The macro.
Yeah, the macro players, like if the robot having a very high macro, Chip will be very useful. It's like you have the win rate above 80% if you got Chip on your team.
Wait, interesting. Arlet. We haven't seen Arlet in quite some time here, boys. Why do you think that Arlet makes an appearance here for Alter Ego?
They need a setup to bring back down talent numbers of Bigatron Alpha towards the real population, and especially against a 1-1, that is a tough task. And I think Arlet, with his range and also his CC, can do a good job at that. You have to really time it with the quote-unquote purify that 1-1 has.
So are we looking at Arlet EXP?
Yes,
Hylos Throne?
Still flex, still flex.
I think it's still gonna be Arlet EXP, to be honest.
Okay.
Nino loves to use Hylos, but Tigreal and so
I mean, we were talking about the Atlas. If we're talking about El Momento, then Key on the Tigreal, that's a hero that really fits his identity.
Yeah, because it's have the same playstyle like Atlas before, using the implosion to initiate the team fights. I think it's gonna be important for Bigatron so they don't depend too much on Luke. So Key now can have the moment here.
What was the last pick?
It was
Moskov.
Yeah. And what I really like about this Tigreal is the fact that even though the Moskov and the Yip will probably use the Purify, it is a 1-1. You don't really care about the backliner. You care about the frontliners to change your crossbow tank towards some of the backliners. That's the ideal situation, ideal scenario for Bigatron Alpha. So I think in the draft, I kind of prefer the competition.
So it's gonna be a front to back playstyle from Alter Ego, but for the Bigatron, I think it's a kiting game.
So which draft would you prefer, Coleus?
For me, I think first game is for Bigatron.
Bigatron, Coleus, you?
Bigatron.
Bigatron as well. So 2-0 for Bigatron Alpha right now, ladies and gentlemen, just based on the drafts. But we're going to throw it over to our casters to bring you game number 1.
Thank you to our panelists, and here we go to game number 1 of match number 1. Solid drafts all around the line. Let's give us a few thoughts, Saraki.
Wow, game number 1 already shaping up to be quite interesting. You're already seeing the 2 Purifies as expected from Alter Ego, but man, if you look at it, it's a trade-off between having a lot of big moments from Bigatron and a long, drawn-out, poke, slow, continuous composition from Alter Ego. Not to mention, with the Spear of Destruction, I don't see how Alter Ego wants to play this macro game, but look at this poke, man. This mid lane is brutal.
Super Luke, no. Marie rotating early with a concussive blast. Oh, taking very low. The initiation forward. Round getting the revitalized. Round more hit for Super Luke, but now he's going to be stun locked down. Luke might be taken out. Pops into Shampoo and the G Kundo. And he gets out. But Nino doesn't want to commit that flicker.
Already using the Revitalize very early on, though. Owen will have it as a playmaking tool for quite a while. Look at Nile, though, abusing the Alpha pick.
Uh-oh. Now getting chased down. Moreno walking forward. Nile barely getting out. And Mon walking forward. Oh, Nile getting on. And Mon very low. Still able to survive. The Highs goes in forward. Gets a kill. That's a Spear of Misery to lock him down and pin him down. Key with a shove back. Highs great Purify. Super Ken unable to get the execute. Owen throwing down against Key, but will be under the turret. Super Ken looking for the snipe onto Highs. Will be forced to back away from this wave.
Oh, the aggressiveness early on in the game. I mean, Nile is so strong with the Alpha. Level 4 already sieging, or rather invading that purple buff. And Amon had to die in the process, but High still survives. Amon might look for Owen here.
Yeah, poking him down, and look at the timing, Arashi. Why did he do that? Turtle spawning in, that's why.
Right moment, you just exert all that pressure. Alter Ego definitely wants to try and go for this, especially with the Alpha presence, but with all the big ultimates available to Bigatron, they might be forced to let it go.
He's walking up, round no Moreno, stealing with the glorious pathway. Owen, a bit late to the skirmish right now. Often revitalized. Super Luke with the way the dragon coming down. Super Ken able to lock that down. Nino walking forward, has the final slash, brings it away. Only gets Super Ken though. And Bigatron Alpha will take the dub. They will pull back.
They get the turtle for Super Ken. That is, of course, an advantage for Bigatron Alpha. Alter Ego, they have to fall back. But now you see so much fighting happening in the first few minutes. But taking a look at the sustainability, who survives the fight longer, Arashi? Well, if you talk about surviving the fight longer, Nino! With the solo play, I was gonna say that Alter Ego has a bit of an edge due to the Hylas. But before that, realize time predictions by our new application, GoPay. Unanimous decision for all but one. Papulong in the hands of the 3 masked men. He votes for Alter Ego. Classic Papulong. Yeah, are you really surprised with that outcome?
Oh, look at that though. Emon gonna be chopped low. Hines has the SOD. Owen to the back with a glorious pathway. Can he escape? Emon able to space away. Super King with a re-engage over the Highs. Very low. One more shot. Good implosion to lock him down. Crossbow attack is ready. But Super King is getting rid of all of them on the back line. Pops in forward with the blink. Now the Spear of Alpha over again. But Moreno has rotated faster, and Super King will get that elimination.
Oh my goodness. The rotation is so solid from Bigatron Alpha. They might look for a dive.
Real world manipulation. Moreno tanking it up now with a full dive. It's another execute for Super Ken.
Oh boy, we keep talking about Suyo and how it's so good when you're snowballing. Super Ken definitely getting all the value.
Wait, the dragon was pinned down. Nino able to use the vengeance. Another lockdown over. Super Luke still escaping. Final slash. Great one. Shampoo. Luke gets out.
Oh!
SOD.
Super Luke with the fleet footwork.
And this is what Cho gives you. It gives you the mobility, it gives you the advantage to just jump into the backline and kick someone straight into the bearing arms of Bigatron Alpha. Is this Cho pick that strong in this game?
I think it's just when you're trying to contest pressure. With the Cho giving so much attention, it opens up the possibilities for Key to come in unexpected as well. Even with the Purifies, it's still gonna be a very valuable resource burnt out. Look at Marino getting jumped on.
Locked in a bit. Able to dash away. Bigatron out hold control. Throwing his pathway by Owen. Super Luke at his own Nile. Bigatron get the control over for now. Ultra Ego will take control. Super Luke though still on the flanks. Over to Nile. That's an implosion. And a way to drag it lock him down, but there's no one there to follow it up. Now the Spear of Alpha over to Key. Now the final starts as well. Nile securing it.
Nino.
That's vengeance over. Nino the chase.
Oh!
Super Ken shut down by Nino.
Oh my goodness, that is an important kill towards Super Ken. He was snowballing, but it was cut off by Nino. And that is also what the Omelet offers to you, Super Luke. He will be just fine.
This is the aggression, the crowd control too. Bigatron, they kind of stacked the crowd control from the way of the dragon along with the implosion. They should have staggered it a bit more and ensured that Super Ken can get the guaranteed retribution. But Nile was hit by both almost at the same time. Now with the glowing one secured for Roundel, skipping the Enchanted Talisman, going for the Demon Shoes to ensure he has enough mana for these fights. It's gonna slow down the regeneration, the survivability from Bigatron. But for now, Ultra has to keep a watchful eye for the big moments from Bigatron, the big engages. That is still definitely a big possibility.
Yeah, this is what Ultra Ego wants to do. They want to keep on going towards the backline of Bigatron Alpha. They have that crash potential, that collapse potential in the hands of Owen. With the Glorious Pathway, he will open it up, and Iman might be the next victim.
RWM used up already. The zone Iman away. Super Luke will walk forward, trying to go for the pick, but the turret will be taken away by Alter Ego.
This is a zoning play from Ultra Ego, initially using the Glorious Pathway and then the real manipulation not to do damage. This is zone people away so that Heist can get those free hits on the turrets. Very intelligent game plan. But by the way, Marino went for our first item, Starlium. That's a unique take I haven't seen in quite a while at least.
Yeah.
Definitely giving him a lot more damage, a lot more ways to burst people down. And it's just like for Bigatron, again, it's about getting that big one moment, which is why the Way of the Dragon has been such a respected tool by Ultra Ego, right? They're avoiding any chance of Luke making the plays happen because they know that they are lacking when it comes to those insane one-shot potential.
But is that what's going to be the main goal of Valentina? Because mostly, if we talk about Valentina, yes, she does deal a lot of damage, but she's mostly the enabler. Going for the first Starlium side might be an egoistical move from Moreno, do you think?
He's having a lot of pure true damage as well with the Starlium, so in a way, it works well against Owen. That's going to be stacking a lot of those defensive hats. Right now, look at this, Super Luke already zoning.
Going to the back, finding a way to drag and lock him down as well. Super Ken will be able to lock that down. Now the real world inflation answer with another real world inflation. Nino with a flicker forward explosion! El Momento finding three! Roundel taken out. Owen has been isolated from the team. Moskov though, take a look at Highs. Will get another turret to trade it for the three members that he lost.
We talk about the new man on the block, the enabler Super Ken. But still, El Momento looms in the darkness and comes out on top as the frontliner of Bigatron Alpha.
Chase over. Final slash. Nino will give all the weakness points away with Spear of Misery too. Oh, Nino using the vengeance very well. The shove back will be Nino. No! Dumping back and forth. Moreno finally splashes that damage to take him down.
Whew. Nino, man, absolutely on fire right now. But Bigatron, they're just doing so well in the early game. They're doing so much better at just finding those moments. Ultra Ego are able to actually kind of equalize because they have the Moskov, but the fact that the Spear of Destruction did not land in that crucial fight definitely made it quite awkward for Ultra Ego.
Yeah, but a new game factor by the new application GoPay. Suyo becomes the 79th hero to debut in Mpl-Id Season 14 out of a total of 126 heroes in Mlbb. So, of course, a newly released hero becomes very significant in terms of the drafts and all the picks coming in from teams playing today. And Ultra Ego, or rather Bigatron, will be the first team to touch their hands on this new hero.
And look at the itemization, man. Third item, Wind of Nature for Eman. This respects all of that dive potential coming through, especially from Nino and Nile later on. But Rondo can still be a massive problem for him. Aside from that, Thunderbolt for Super Luke. That means more chase, more utility, more damage, and tankiness as well. But you have to look at Super Ken on the Suyo, definitely. 2K go ahead, War Axe with the Queen's Wings, a lot more survivable due to the damage reduction he has in the fighter form as well. And we have talked about the damage coming in from the Suyo again and again, but Super Ken is making it look like the mobility is also an underrated aspect of this hero.
Oh, conceal play. Might look for something. Super Luke hops forward, looking for Owen, but no. They will just zone out for the Lord setup.
Yeah. No real need to go in for the skirmish just yet. Now walking forward, Roundel is in an off position. Super Luke walking forward, way to Dragon as well. This should be a free take, and it will be. Super Luke chased out the glorious pathway. Owen puts it down. Super Luke with the flicker. Now final slash over to Super Ken, who's going to be caught by the real realm of
Oh!
He, two-man was only at the frontliners and gets locked down. Keeping the shove as well. That's 2 members taken down, but Bigatron Alpha get the Lord.
Oh, they turn around. And they might concede the Lord, but they get Super Ken and Key. Super Ken becomes the most pivotal member to fall in that altercation. Now they look and set their sights on the tier 1 turret and even stopping the Lord in the tracks.
Oh, no, walking up Spear of Alpha from Niall! Finding Eman. Even with the built-in Purify, he wasn't able to escape. And Alter Ego get the Lord advantage despite not getting the Lord.
Man, even with the built-in Purify, with the Wind of Nature, that's true damage coming in from Niall. This is why the Alpha is just so lethal, so dangerous in the current meta. Bigatron, since a bit of miscalculation there, even in the Lord fight, they got the Lord, they were able to exit, and there seems to be some attempts to try and make plays happen there still. Bigatron need to respect it, man. Alter Ego, they definitely still have weight to throw around here at 10 minutes. This is where the mid-game power spikes usually really hit hard for these big fighters. And with the Alpha in the roster for Alter Ego, Bigatron need to find ways to deal with it. If you're going to use a lot of these big utility tools, like the Way of the Dragon, like the Implosion, you know, to set up, then there's nothing left to protect the backline from this diving Alpha. That is something they have to try and take into consideration, especially after that outcome.
Yeah, brute force breastplate completed by Niall as well. Just giving him that extra defense when he wants to dive towards Bigatron Alpha. But Bigatron Alpha still has their ace card, their ace in the hole, which is Moreno with the IMU. Whenever you think Alter Ego might be able to just zone out and start the execute, start the engage first, there will always be Moreno hiding in the shadows, might steal a huge RWM or maybe like a glorious pathway or even Spear of the Alpha, a Spear of Alpha, but then again, he has to concede of diving into the backline of Alter Ego. Now for Bigatron Alpha, how do they want to traverse the situation?
I still think they want to go aggressive. They just have to pick the right engagements, because with Super Ken picking up the BOD, that's a lot of burst damage potential. The only issue earlier was that the main damage dealers, the Suyo, at least Super Ken was caught in the main engage from Alter Ego, and that really can't happen. Like, Bigatron can't afford to have that happen. But with the Sea Halberd picked up by Eman as well, Owen is going to start feeling the heat, feeling the pain here. So will Niall and Nino. So if they're surviving early on, using the healing, the regen, the tankiness built in the composition, the longer the game goes and the more Eman gets more items, the more they can't really afford to do so. So I think Alter Ego can still bank on having that split push pressure, but they have to be careful for Bigatron's members, because a lot of them can kind of do okay 1v1 too.
Yeah, that's strong. Split push presence in the hands of Highs. That Moskov does have that global presence with the Spear of Destruction again. And if you think of it, if you compare it to Bigatron Alpha, it's not as strong as Highs with its high lane pressure. Maybe it's just going to be Super Ken, but Suyo is just so slow on the segue plays and the split pushes. Now, though, the Lord might be the next eye on the list.
Oh, man. With a Divine Blade finish from Moreno as well, that's a very well-timed power spike. Bigatron rushing for it.
Super Luke trying to do what he's been doing best. That's going over to Niall, but he won't be able to find a way to Dragon though. Will Niall down the real world ablation. Luke compromised Key as well, but it's just going to be the front line over the real world ablation from Moreno to try to zone them back. It will not be enough to keep Key alive. But it's a jungle for a tank, and they got the Lord again.
2 for 2 for Bigatron Alpha and Super Ken. Retribution on point gets the Lord for themselves. Eman just hiding in the bush, maybe looking for something, but he's just far away from his teammates.
Risky moves there from Eman, but hey, he has a chance to actually push the wave out a lot earlier and keep up with the team. So I really work out in favor of them, and look at the efforts coming from Super Ken as well, going to the bottom lane, trying to match all 3 waves to push all together, and not clearing the mid lane.
Whoa. That damage, Eman from the side though. Try to look for a cheeky angle to get the weakness points. Alter Ego handling the Lord very well. Nino with a final slash as well. To be able to keep the turret in the mid lane alive, but both turrets side lane, tier 2s taken out.
It's not worth it for Alter Ego to have to compromise and lose top side turret and bottom side turret as well. And the expense of their mid lane turret still standing, but still, Now then, the side lane pressure even grows stronger for Bigatron Alpha. They can chunk the wave, they can chunk the minions going in, and they might look for pryos in other lanes, maybe again, waiting for that Lord to respawn.
I feel like Bigatron are working against the clock somehow, because they don't have a lot of good high ground technically, and they don't really have a strong frontliner, a proper frontliner. They have Luke and Key, but they're both basically utility, right? Playmaking tools. They're not meant to stay in the front and tank shots like Owen does, or like Niall can do with the regen. And keep in mind with the Yves and Moskov, these are two great heroes that scale really well into the late game. So Altrigo, the fact that they're still able to hang on to their base turrets here at 14 minutes, is definitely a great achievement on their end. Bigatron need to play some more mind games here. Bait Altrigo into some circumstances where they're not really advantageous. So Altrigo are playing it textbook. They're trying to play it as safe as possible and try and scale up to try and match Super Ken, who's really far ahead when it comes to the gold and EXP.
Yeah. On that note as well, I think Altrigo do have that high ground defense as well. They have to wait for from highs. They have to poke from Roundel. That might be the main tool to really just scamper away Key and Super Loop. And they want to frontline because Super Loop and Key, yes, they might be able to just put their bodies in front, be that tanky member that they want to be, but they don't scale as much as Owen do in terms of HP, and can't really survive that front line. So I think high ground defense-wise, Altrigo might have the upper hand. So Bigatron Alpha, I do agree with what Arashi says. They're working on the clock, but Owen
will be caught. Does he have to win a crown is a big question. Now Super Lucas plays away Moreno. Will pop in real inflation. That's though. Over to the back, the real crossbow attack combo. Roundel almost taken out just with the crossbow attack. Lucas in the back, the winner crown already used by Niall, but now he's got all isolated. Moreno with the chase under the turret. We'll get a triple. We'll get a maniac in the first game of playoffs.
We talked about the defense. It's all broken into pieces by Bigatron. Moreno, the man of the hour.
The Chokers have gotten one game, but they're still 2 games away from getting the series victory.
Bigatron Alpha strike first as their robotic fists and their eyes of the kill online. Alter Ego, they have to concede game number 1. 1-0 for Bigatron Alpha.
We thought the game was about to slow down right there, but it's merely the calm before the storm. Bigatron with one single fell swoop. We talked about baiting Altrigo into disadvantageous positions, and look at that, dude. The single playmaking from Eman just ruins the whole composition, bursts them down, and just like that, Bigatron take Altrigo down.
Talked about the crossbow of Tang being such a good tool to utilize, especially when you're up against strong frontliners, when you're up against tanky frontliners like the Hylos, like the Arlet maybe as well, like the Alpha. But we talked about how it is also so versatile, or rather so susceptible in the late game, because you can buy Immortality, you can buy the winner crown. But Eman used it in such a way that it all kick-started the end for Alter Ego. That took so long, the crossbow of Tang.
And the criticism sent to Alter Ego's way, as good as Bigatron played that, what does Niall need? All throughout regular season, a flashy assassin. We had doubts already about him, maybe even picking up the Suyo. That's a different pick entirely to the Fanny, the Ling, the Hayabusa. He picked up the worst possible pick for Niall regular season. Obviously, things could change, but here I think we saw it again. Niall unable to create a big impact for the team on a pick like this. He needs those assassins.
And again, it's also about the follow from his team. We have to remember that he went for a big early game invade in the early game, and he got punished for it. Right? Again, it needs to be a full-on group effort. That final play wasn't just Eman playmaking. It was the whole team setting it up. It's about the 1-1 holding off on the crossbow of Tang and allowing just that big moment to happen there, waiting for the right possible moment to just find the ideal timing to start everything off.
Oh, this is a way to, of course, start your engines and just run it around the playoffs, of course. The look of pride in the eyes of Starlist. Bigatron number 1. And Alter Ego, yeah, they have to fix a few things. One of the issues that they have to address is, of course, Niall, but we will throw it back to the panelist upstage.
Oh, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, we were in a heated discussion there, but thank you so much, casters, for bringing us game number 1. That was a 16-minute game, by the way. And what we were discussing earlier was Moreno. Maniac on a Valentina. This is a mid lane pick that we don't see too often, especially with the changes in the meta. And yet he's able to bring back his signature hero from, I think, 2 seasons ago
Mm-hmm.
and pull that. A maniac in the final minutes of the game.
He set the standard really high with a maniac on the first game, Shepard.
Yeah,
Right?
coming out with a bang. And also the real manipulation copy also works as a setup as well, because you have a Tigreal, you have this kind of heroes on the other side, which is Hylos and also Eve. When they actually pull the trigger, that's where Pikachu Alpha is playing their game. That's why I think at that very last moment where Owen is opening the bushes at the middle of the map, I think that shouldn't have happened, because you're right, at that time, you're just giving to Pikachu the opportunity to actually punish that.
Like Arashi mentioned before, they don't have any enabler. So when Owen wants to open the map, no one can follow up Owen with a good CC.
So what's the purpose?
Yeah, what's the purpose?
Okay, so you think it was like a draft disconnect coming in from the team, or was it just execution from Alter Ego?
Both of them.
Okay, we're gonna take a look at the highlights alongside our discussion here. Is there maybe a moment that you guys want to point out?
Yeah.
I think over the course of the game, it's just the objective battle in the Turtles. It's always Super Luke on behind Nile, just kicking them because he's not going to be able to use the Retribution. I think Super Luke is one of the guys that needs to be shouted out, even though I think the MVP is going to be different. So yeah, I think it is just super tough when you're up against a Chao that knows what to do when the moment calls. And this is the MVP of the game.
Let's see. Oh, there you go. It's Moreno, player of the game, ladies and gentlemen, presented to you by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. Let's talk about this Valentina Brave Smite emblem, Starlium Scythe. Colios, what is going on?
So he need to use the Starlium side as like having this foul fam and reducing the cooldown. And of course, the effect of the Arcane Shade will be really painful with the Starlium side. So he can play with the basic attack.
Yeah, especially when you have 2 frontliners from Alter Ego side, which is really hard to poke down when you have that basic attack enhanced towards the magic power. It becomes a weapon for Moreno. And also the Brave Smite against a Yeef, I think it's serves as a purpose of laning, because laning against a Yeef is a very hard job to do, as we're gonna take a look at the highlights earlier. And so far, shout out to Eman too, man. He played the lane quite perfectly, even though he's getting ganked a lot of times. He didn't die quite a lot.
Yeah, this one is when Super Low Ice is only for Heist or even Niall. That's why he always kick the most important players from Bigatron, and the others gonna follow up. But I think Key with Tigreal, I didn't see a good follow up from his team. Is it because of they are quite disconnected on the early game?
I think it's only happened on that particular moment because Key knows what to do when the Purifiers are there, and actually he learned from that turtle fight, the second turtle fight, that he's getting zoned by the Hylos and also Nino on the Arlet, so he picked his target a bit more carefully, and this is the nail in the coffin for Alter Ego. It's just a really good decision from Key to camp out the bush, and Moreno is just being Moreno, man. Absolutely insane.
Under turret. Under turret. He did give a shutdown over, but I mean, at that point, it was completely worth it. That was a wiped out by Moreno. Just impeccable once again on his signature pick. It gives me, goosebumps thinking about the good old days of Moreno on the Valentina. And that was just an exceptional game from Bigatron Alpha. Now, if we have a flashback into the keys to victory, right? I think one of the things that we did highlight was the fact that Bigatron Alpha, they need to rely on 2 pillars, right? They can't just rely on a single person. And I think in the regular season, we highlighted Luke being that person, right? He was the new El Momento, but with another layer of Key, we saw just how destructive Bigatron Alpha can be in these team fights. And they were able to really try and bait out, because of the second layer of CC, right? Bait out the Purifies, and then it just worked and coalesced with one another really well. 15 minutes, I think it was a 16-minute game. Was it 15 minutes?
15 minutes, 9 seconds.
15 minutes and 9 seconds.
Yeah, and Bigatron is doing their homework very well during this 2 weeks break. That's why they make Key another pillar for Bigatron, and that's why we see that Key always try to wasting the opponent's Purify before Super Luke can
resources baiting.
make the momentum.
Let's talk about Eman though. On Pull Yourself Together, because he has Inspire, he knows that in a composition where you pick a Chao on the EXP lane, you're sacrificing a lot of potential damage that EXP lane has, and now you're forced to be much more threat in a very short cooldowns over time. So that's why he's using that Pull Yourself Together to be able to enhance the capabilities of Bigatron Alpha on multiple team fights. So I really like the choice there from Eman as we're going to take a look at the gold distribution of both of these mid laners, Turtle and Lord. Night and day, Coleus. I believe it's only one turtle towards Alter Ego in the second turtle, and other than that, it's just Moreno benefiting off the team fights from Bigatron Alpha.
Almost perfect turtle for Bigatron, but looking for the turrets, I think it's really small because he's only focusing to damaging the opponents when the others like Eman is like doing his job to aim for the turrets. But for the post-game statistic, the goal per minute for I think it's 830. It's for Eman even. Oh no, Supercan. I thought it was Eman.
I mean, it does make sense, right? I actually asked you guys earlier on. I was like, guys, Suyo in the early game. What is this power? How are they able to control the map so well? How are they able to control the objectives so well? And it turns out that's exactly the power of the Suyo, right? It does make sense that Eman gets the highest GPM.
Look at the best wingman though. It's Eman on the 1-1. Usually we don't really see a gold laner as the best wingman, but when the situation calls, when this is that kind of game, especially when Moreno are stealing the kills in the late game, it just happens. As we're going to take a look at the gold difference over time. And now there is a concern here for Bigatron Alpha because
Climbing the mountain.
Look at that. Mountains, we go down again. Mountains, we go down again. This is a sign that you know, I'm sorry to say it, Bigatron identity might still be there.
Okay, wow. Is there a particular moment that can, you know, support that statement? The Bigatron moments?
Probably on the second turtle
Second
is one
turtle.
that I really see. Because like it makes sense. And I think it serves as a learning purpose too, because Key, over the course of the game, didn't really do the same thing. And Super Look as well, because at that time, the Implosion and also the Way of the Dragon was executed at the same time, which is not really what you want to do at that point.
Right.
You mean the timing, right?
Yeah.
The
So they
timing
were
to
supposed to
execute that.
layer it, right, in order to bait the resources that, you know, Coleus mentioned before. Wow, okay.
But everything is fast. That's why they need to do the evaluation for the next game because it's really important. For me, I predict that Alter Ego gonna get 1 point from this game, but I'm afraid that if they already got the momentum, if they won one game on this stage, it's gonna be dangerous.
Okay, I mean, this is one game already given to Bigatron Alpha, so could we be potentially looking at a 3-0 for the Red Robots? You know, much to the delight of, you know, Mirkotron over in the caster desk. You know, let's give Alter Ego some time, and let's talk about Alter Ego now, right? Alter Ego, Mirko mentioned earlier on in his cast that he didn't really like the alpha pick for Nile. Do we agree with that statement?
It's not just Niall's identity, man. He's there to slash throats. He's there to kill bodies. He's not there to be utility. He's not there to enhance the capabilities of the team when it's a team fight. He's there to kill. Give them the fanning, give them the lane, but unfortunately it got banned.
But the problem is, like, for head-to-head against Suyo,
Yeah,
I think the best option right now is Alpha.
it is.
So do we ban the Suyo instead? Maybe if you were Alter Ego?
I believe Alter
Do
Ego...
they take first pick instead and take the Suyo for themselves?
Yeah, I think first pick would be the idea here because Alter Ego, I believe, right now has a better win percentage on the first pick as well. Let's just see, because in the second pick earlier, you know, the red side earlier, Alter Ego was forced to ban the Chip, the
Matilda and Edith.
Matilda and Edith. I think the one that can be changed is that Edith. That's the only one they can play around with. But I don't know if they wanna, you know, invest it towards Suyo.
Do you agree? Should it
flex,
be a
man.
Edith ban? Take away the Edith ban, put in the Suyo ban?
I think so, because yeah, I know crowd control is really annoying, especially during the team fight. But against Suyo, if you don't know how to counter Suyo, like for example, we see that on the grandfather of Mpl-Id, they do the mirroring techniques on the gameplay. So when Suyo is going to go for the turtle, the other jungler is go for annihilate all the creep
Okay.
on the opponent's side. That's why they need to do some mirroring movement.
So then, even if Alter Ego want to let the Suyo go once again, they need to be able to be a lot more disciplined in their macro play, maybe?
I guess.
All right. I mean, we'll let them catch a break. We'll also, you know, think about it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to throw it over to our host. So we'll see you soon.
Sini di tengah Eldorado Dome ada Bude Clara Monster dan juga ada Alisa Natali di sini yang bakal nemenin kalian sebagai host di Mpl-Id Season 14. Woohoo! Semangat banget pastinya, apalagi ini adalah match penentuan. Hidup atau mati, mereka harus bisa berjuang. Di game pertama udah close game banget nih, tapi semangatnya nggak cuma kita berdua doang dong pastinya Alisa ya.
Betul sekali Bude, karena di sini kita sudah bersama dengan para pendukung dari para gamers kita. Boleh dong ke tengah, kita kenalan dulu.
Yeay. Ini dari tadi Bude lihat langsung ya, semuanya pasti mata memandang kepada tulisan-tulisan yang sudah mereka tulis. Ada siapa saja nih, kita kenalan dulu yuk dari Teteh. Ini dari mana, namanya siapa?
Hai semuanya, kenalin nama aku Ica, aku dari Malang.
Ado-ado tekang Malang?
Ada Soto Malang.
Oh, sama siapa?
Sama teman-teman.
Jauh banget Alisa.
Jauh banget ya, bel-belain ke Eldorado Bandung. Kalau tadi udah dari Malang nih, sebelahnya ada siapa silakan?
Halo, perkenalkan nama gue Imam dari Sumatera Barat, Bukit Tinggi.
Bukit Tinggi, wow.
Mau jemput Pak Pulung?
Apa?
Mau jemput Pak Pulung kah?
Enggak, kebetulan enggak.
Enggak ya, di sini untuk mendukung siapa nih? Belum ada tulisannya. Oh, BTR.
BTR.
Jangan bikin gua kecewa tiket pesawat mahal. Berapa?
Kurang lebih 2 juta.
Oh wow.
Mungkin ya, kurang lah.
Kurang lebih ya.
Ya, benar.
Semoga worth it ya Bude pastinya ya. Dan membayar tiket pesawat segitu melihat tim kesayangan untuk bertanding.
Ya pastinya ntar itu BTR pasti menang sih kayaknya.
Oh, tadi pas menang game pertama itu kan close game banget ya.
Ya.
Bagaimana reaksimu tuh pas game pertama tadi?
Lebih ke senang. Terus ditambah lagi nanti itu bakal pecah lagi sih kalau sampai 3-0 gitu.
Kalau sampai harapanmu 3-0 nih.
3-0, ya
Gak
benar.
kepengen kasih poin buat alter ego?
Kayaknya enggak dulu deh. Buat
Waduh.
alter ego.
Ini alter champs di sini, Kak, gimana nih Kak?
Gimana?
Jauh dari Malang masa lihat kalah?
Betul, Kak Ica gimana nih? Boleh kasih tahu.
Iya sih, memang dari regular season kemarin memang banyak AE itu kayak kalah telak kan. Cuman aku sama teman-teman yang udah dukung AE berharapnya di playoff saat ini bisa at least kalau memang dia nggak lolos, dia masih ada perlawanan lah untuk buat yang lainnya gitu, dari tim-tim yang lainnya.
Oke, Kak Ica boleh kasih prediksi skornya nggak nih? Kalau di match pertama tadi udah 1 poin, mungkin di match selanjutnya bisa comeback?
Bisa sih. Soalnya tadi di game pertama menurut aku tuh AE oke sih, cuman mungkin memang ada miss ya. Makanya jadinya blunder juga. Cuman mainnya bagus kok.
Mainnya bagus.
Iya.
Dan harapannya pasti bisa comeback ya di
Bisa,
match
harus bisa.
selanjutnya. Oke.
Jadi udah beda nih menurut Kak Ica dari regular season sama hari ini.
Lumayan beda.
Main beda ya?
Beda.
Udah kelihatan aura-aura. Tadi dibilang 3-0. Prediksinya kalau dari Kak Ica gimana? Berapa nih?
3-1.
Untuk? Alter ego dong.
Alter ego dong.
Dikasih 1 poin di game pertama doang berarti nih.
Mungkin ya, mungkin. Tapi harapannya sih buat BTR itu 3-0 buat sore hari ini udah.
Langsung telak ya Bude ya.
Semuanya tentunya punya harapan yang baik untuk tim-timnya. Tapi mereka ini udah jauh-jauh. Kalian rela jauh-jauh. Kenapa nih? Dari mungkin Teteh, dari Kakak Ica.
Jujur aja lagi gila-gila MPL sih emang. Makanya bela-belain ke sini juga karena kemarin kan di regular season nggak bisa datang ke Jakarta. Ya udah ke Bandung aja gitu.
Bandung aja, pokoknya memang lagi menggandrungi banget nih. Dan Alter Ego adalah tim favorit, langsung gas ae.
Iya benar.
Gas ae. Dari Mas Imam jauh-jauh nih.
Apa?
Rela jauh-jauh kenapa?
Oh, itu sekalian buat liburan sih sekarang.
Oh liburan, refreshing Bude nyampe ke Bandung ini ya dan nonton tim kesayangan.
Yes, dua-duanya punya tim favorit. Kita pun pasti banyak banget yang ada di kolom komentar, yang ada di Eldorado berharap timnya akan mendapatkan kemenangan. Namun tentunya semua itu hanya bisa dibuktikan dari kedua tim yang beradu. Kita akan melanjutkan permainan kita di game kedua. Siapa yang akan mendapatkan poin? Apakah Alter Ego atau Bigatron Alpha? So panelists, monggo.
Thank you so much, Bude, Clara, Mongstar, as well as thank you towards Alisa. And we actually got a little bit of a sneak peek as to how packed the arena is right now. The audience, the fans, they're really pulling through.
Yeah, because they already got home from school, or even maybe some of them take a break for their works and wants to come here.
Oh. Take a break? Do you mean like they're skipping
Lunch break,
work?
yeah, lunch break. They come to MPL.
A 2-hour lunch
Yeah,
break?
yeah.
Is that what
Might
you do?
be, it might be.
Is that
Sorry,
okay,
boss,
Shepard?
I need to print something. I need to have a meeting outside.
I didn't teach that.
2 hours
That
lunch break.
That's not me, guys. That's not me. But anyway, match 1, game number 2 is coming real soon. And we did talk a little bit more about, what Alter Ego can improve, but specifically speaking now, is there anything in terms of their execution that needs to be sharpened?
I think in the early game, right, just now, they picked the Hylas, right? They picked the Hylas towards a 1-1. Why are you putting so much emphasis on the gold lane? Because you don't have a set. It's going to be super tough for you to actually use the Hylas potential in the early game to be able to shut down the 1-1 early on. And there is a lot of potential for it to get overturned because they have a Tigreal, they have a Chow as well, so it's gonna be hard. But Eterna.
So let's ask you guys. What did you guys think? Like, we asked Sheffin, we asked Colius, but what about you guys? How do you think that Alter Ego can bounce back for game number 2? And drumroll please.
Give Nile an assassin.
Okay,
75%.
75% give Nile. We did talk about that. Let's see the next one. 17%. Watch out for Luke zoning. Okay, he was on the show earlier on. 8%. What's that? Give Owen an initiator hero.
But yeah, like we said on the key to victories before, I think the Battle of Assassin is really important if Alter Ego and Gigatron want to have like a comfort zone team fight or even a comfort zone game.
I think I like the third one more because even in the regular season, as I said earlier, every time there's a Hylas, early in the season for Alter Ego, it's always pick or ban, pick or ban. Why not just pick an actual set hero for Hylas to be able to thrive, for your jungler to be able to thrive? But on the second point though, I don't know if that's gonna be possible if Luke's on Chow, man.
Okay, wait a second, right? Let's go back to that third point. Owen.
Yeah.
You want Owen to be given an initiator hero.
Yep.
Let's talk about what heroes. Right? Because honestly, his performance on the Jawhead was so lackluster for me.
Well, Jawhead itself is kind of in a weird situation right now. I think Edith would be the most ideal target for Owen. The thing about the Chow is the difference between Bigatron Alpha and also Alter Ego. The Chow for Bigatron Alpha is possible to be flexed. Now, if you want to give the flex towards Alter Ego on the Chow, you're going to give a Chow towards Nino.
Nino?
Possibly. No, like the flex. The potential of the flex.
Right. Which is possible.
So you
Which
can already
is
get.
not good for me.
I mean, Nino was known to be a Cho player,
Yep.
despite it being in the gold lane.
I don't know, man.
Back in the day.
He was like Kabuki, right? That was Nino and Kabuki's thing. Like season 7, season 8, Cho, Kabuki,
gold lane side.
Yuzong, Kabuki, as well as with Nino too in the gold lane.
Yeah, with Benedetta, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I want to mention something about Benedetta. I think we already see that Benedetta tank is being picked on Mpl-Id, right? So maybe Nino can use Benedetta tank instead of the not enabler hero.
Do you like that? A Benedetta in the EXP lane?
I think it can be somehow, it serves a purpose as a Katot Kacha replacement. Because Katot Kacha has a lot of sustainability, has a lot of mobility on the upper of Guardian as well, has a bit of set, which Benedetta kinda has on the Electro Final Blow, even though she uses Revitalize. But I don't know if that's gonna be an ideal pick for Alter Ego, man. Because Bigatron Alpha, they can play the disengage game really, really well, as well as anybody in MPL Indonesia.
I think
Okay.
it's a cheap pick for them if they want to use it.
So speaking of picks, now in game number 2, it's actually Bigatron on second pick. So Alter Ego have actually chosen
Makes sense.
first pick. How will this change the drafting phase for Alter Ego especially?
I think first of all, Vanny will getting banned again on the second game. But for Suyo, this is the question: are Bigatron gonna let the Suyo goes?
That might be possible. So right now, the question for Bigatron Alpha is, do they wanna, what's gonna be the third ban? I think it's still gonna be, wait, Chip, right?
Chip.
Chip on Alter Ego. They might actually let it go. Even though, to be honest, if a team is really good, oh, okay, actually ban it.
Calm down. I know you were excited. I saw the excitement in your face, Sheffin, but Chip does get banned here from Bigatron as we enter the drafting phase for game number 2, presented to you by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. And there it is. That's the change. All right, Suyo being banned out. Fanny's taken away from from Niall. And now Alter Ego go with the Harith, Matilda, and the Jushin. First pick for Alter Ego. Predictions?
Edith, for me.
Yeah, it did too. But it can be possible if they want to use like the other tanky heroes like Gato Kacha. Gato Kacha is still open right now.
Wait, yeah, Gatot would be better, I think. It's much more...
Gatot for Owen.
It's still a flex.
It is comfortable hero.
Wait, do they want to go for a Ling and save the Gatot/Edith pick on the second phase? Because I feel like because on Alpha, they don't want to use the Edith and Gatot right away because that kind of eliminates the flex potential. Oh no!
Wait a minute.
Oh no.
Alpha
Still.
first pick? What kind of strategy that they want to play? Because in the first game, Niall Alpha is not have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, look, Niall is that type of player that needs... He's kind of like Kyrie, like a couple seasons ago, right? When Kyrie was forced on utility junglers, you couldn't really see the full potential of Kyrie. Now, it's the same thing for Niall. So the fact that Alter Ego once again have committed towards this alpha, it poses a big question. Who's going to be the carry? What's their main idea? Who's going to be strong lane?
Or is it gonna be Alpha Nino?
Nah, I don't think so, Colios. We gotta tone it down a little, but right now they have 1-1 and also Valentina, pretty much a signature picks for both of these guys. Eman, it worked out really well in the first game, but right now, Coach Fura, they have to think of a setter hero. Is it still gonna be the Chow? I think it is, if Alter Ego is not gonna pick it.
Because Gacha looks bad against 1-1 if they want to pick Gacha right now. And the other is like Khalid. Khalid is like the frontliner heroes who can make 1-1 fly faster if he open the weaknesses.
What is it gonna be?
Oh, we forgot about this. Oh, Roundel on Luoyi.
And
You
the
said this.
Luoyi.
You said this, Colios.
Yeah, last night we already said it that Roundel have the hero pool like using Luoyi to initiate the movement or the rotation faster. Using the diversion, so he can make the rotation really fast against Bigatron. So maybe, like Shevin said before, if they want to aim or choke Eman on the gold lane, using Luoyi might be the best option.
So it's gonna be the Hylas here for Coach Fura. But the Phobius, man. This is not the good old Phobius that can counter 1-1. Okay? You need to proc your ultimate your own. It doesn't proc throughout dashes. So, in a way, you're kind of giving away a crossbow attack to Eman if you jump in.
And on top of that, like that would still be forgivable had Alter Ego been able to pick up the Matilda. But with the Matilda off the board, this feels like Alter Ego are going for a composition that's very all-in.
Yeah.
Go big or go home, all-in or nothing.
Hence why they pick the Hylas to further enhance the disengage potential. And also, if they want to take it the aggressive way, Glorious Pathway.
And I think Alter Ego for highs, he's gonna using like a high ground heroes, like for example maybe Clint or Layla.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
Where is this information coming from? He said Alpha
Who's the bird?
EXP earlier on.
I got insider, but we didn't know until it getting picked by Alter Ego.
I mean, guys, Colios, he has his connection, so let's not count that out, that possibility out just yet, but let's see what's on the table. We see an export being banned by Alter Ego. Why did they ban the export here?
Because Super Ken is known to use the export jungler a
Jungler.
lot, and against an alpha, against a Phobius, it kind of serves as a counter. The slows, the true damage is gonna be really hard for them to counter. And right now,
They're banning the heroes that can.
wow, those are two cheesy picks for Super Ken, and they banned both. Interesting.
Yeah, but another Tigreal for T. I think so. There's another initiator for Bigatron, but Luke using Hylas. So the playstyle of Luke will be different from the first game because on the first game he's using Cho, who can initiate or go to the backline, but now he's using Hylas, the sandbag in the front line.
And I want to ask about this Hylos, right? Because we haven't really seen this be popular, especially in Mpl-Id. Why are we still using the Hylos? What factor does it serve?
Ooh. First of all, it's Alter Ego. Wait, no, it's Pikachu Alpha, right?
Alter Ego in game 1, and now they pick it up for Bigatron in game 2.
Well, in this case against a Phobius, it is a good lane against a Phobius. You can survive a lot, and right now I think it's they're not gonna go for a carry. I thought they were gonna go for a carry, but it's gonna be a Moskov and a Ruby. So good setup to combo it with a diversion also. A lot of utility as well. The last pick, Nolan on Super Ken.
I thought carry was the best option for Highs if they want to use it, because they have two frontline, take Tigreal and Hylos. It can be easily melted by carry on the late game, but now using Moskov, I think they want to play like for the long lane, so they can secure the long lane.
Does Moskov win in the lane against a 1-1?
Well, in the first game he didn't. I don't know if that's the case of Eman being better than Heis, but I think it's more of a skill matchup on that note.
Okay, so if we had to choose which draft before we get into the game, we'll start with you, Colius. Okay, Bigatron.
Bigatron for me.
Bigatron Alpha for Colius. What about you, Sheffin?
The Tigreal on key is just way too much, man. I think I'm taking Bigatron.
All right, 2 Bigatrons once again, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, momentum is going to be very important for both Bigatron and Alter Ego. If Alter Ego can't take it back, this might be disastrous. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's throw it over to our casters to bring you game number 2.
To Mobile Legends.
Will Bigatron Alpha inch even further to 0? Or will they be able to defend that 1-1 for Alter Ego?
Is that a revitalized Phobius I spy on the side of Alter Ego? I mean, throughout the drafting phase, we were so confused. We thought the Gato Kacha was definitely going to show out earlier, but again, a lot of plans here, a lot of mind games from both teams. That's a revitalized though, with 2 Purifies, Alter Ego, with all the respect towards Bigatron Alpha.
Yeah, so much respect from the damage coming in, and he needs the sustainability to really win out against the high loss. Now mid prio again, Owen Roundel might be in trouble.
Wow, Purify baited out early. Super Ken with the cooldown boots.
The emblems though, Arashi, anything in particular?
Oh, the agility, oh, hang on a minute, Owen.
This might be a flicker bait. Nope, Moreno walking forward again, just clears the wave.
All right, looking at the emblems, agility and tenacity for Key allows him to roam around, which is why earlier, the fact that level 1 or level 2 even, you can just shove someone out of position so early on, is just so valuable. High is going for full defense, knowing that there's so much burst damage, so much aggression coming in from Bigatron, wanting to make sure that he can have enough time to stay alive, to kind of play the drawn-out fight. Because again, with 2 fighters, you're the ones who want to fight to actually go the distance and allow the backline members to actually do their jobs. So we'll have to wait and see, man. Alter Ego, they're going with a very defensive approach, even though in theory, with the low Yi, they want to be the ones aggressing here.
Owen in defense, Owen looking for a full Nile, Swerve Alpha.
Key flickers out of that. Big flicker bursted or wasted here for the side of BTR.
Yeah, look at the items. Previously, 2 warrior boots coming in from the Luo Yi, Roundel and also Highs. They need that physical defense, that bit physical defense to really just rile and deal with Bigatron Alpha's physical burst. The Feel Like Turtle getting free for Nile.
As the pressure coming in from the jungle, from the EXP and the mid lane on the top side of the map, it's definitely too risky. Moreno tries to try and rotate around, get something. Oh, look at this though.
A little bit of a skirmish over. Super Ken trying to go for a little bit of flank. It's gonna be him pinned down. Owen with a flicker, and Super Ken will be compromised. First blood over to Heist.
Good proactive play with a diversion up top towards the purple buff. They corral and take down Super Ken. That is a huge kill towards Highs.
Definitely an interesting play right there. It's the right idea, right? They go into the jungle of Bigatron, and when they don't find Super Ken, they're like, okay, where could this guy be, right? This guy that wants to always be active on this side of the map. Maybe he's in our jungle, and they do spot him and chase him down. Look at this, Owen being targeted, but the Ruby, man, it's a pesky matchup when you're a Tigreal trying to find ways to be effective against a Ruby, right? That's the one advantage that Alter Ego kind of has to try and deny all these divers, you know, maybe delaying them a bit with that Donald Wolf kick.
Roundel very low. This might be an assassination. Roundel way too overextended. I think Owen had info that Super Ken was in that bush.
Yeah, he met with the Key down bottom of the river. And now even for Eman, he's gonna walk up towards mid, looking to pressure this, get that prio on mid, and prepare themselves for a turtle coming in 40 seconds. And Highs will just clear down a bottom. 3 players stacking, stolen diversion. They're gonna make a flank play right here.
Uh-oh. Man actually read in perfectly into Niles. He's pathing. They're maneuvering bottom lane. They finally, I think they see him. Oh, Nile spotted. No flicker. Oh, Glorious Pathway coming down now. Oh no, he hits the wall! The worst possible Spear of Alpha happening here with Revitalize as well. Now the implosion to lock Owen down. A brilliant play. Secure them prio on the turtle.
A mini blunder there from the defensive Spear of Alpha, but High's next in the chopping block.
Yes, Purify, but I don't think you can Purify damage. They're just gonna all-in him under the turret. Crossbow attack, unnecessary. They won't even go for the turtle. They're just gonna go for the gold underneath that turret. Luke taking a whole lot of damage. Amount still has crossbow attack. Now Key brought back again. Amount in the midst of it all. Needs one more weakness point, but will not be able to find it. Big blunder from inside of Bigatron Alpha as Alter Ego take the advantage back.
Oh, they took that fight and now they lose all control over the turtle, man. Alter Ego with a bit of a win. Man, good things come to those who wait, and Alter Ego, surprisingly, is looking like the more patient team as Nino
Walks up. Oh, with I'm Offended. Flicker combo. Super Luke on the glorious pathway. Spear of Alpha to lock him down. To take that kill, Moreno steals the diversion away. And Bigatron Alpha, they've lost that lead.
Oh, that lead that they had earlier. They were setting their eyes on the turtle, but then they overextended Alter Ego. They're able to turn it towards their favor, even getting that purple buff control, and even the turtle as well. Now diversion play again by Roundel, but just to give Heist that space in the bottom lane.
All right, man, now a bit of a lull in the action. Once again, you can see that Bigatron Alpha, they're trying to find their way around the map a bit more reliably, but Alter Ego with the built-in diversion that doesn't have to be stolen with the IMU, is able to actually find a lot more moments here. But look at this game fact by our new application, GoPay.
Among all MPL regions, Moreno is the only mid laner to achieve a Maniac, not just once, but twice. Not even few can do it. Moreno, he steps up on these big games. He was the game changer in game number 1, but the diversion play now looking for something. Nile might again be the same victim right here.
Oh, Implosion locks him down the glorious pathway as well. Great picks for BTR with the diversion.
The fact that they're able to find the jungle again and again, it's a great value. And because Bigatron are playing this dynamic style, Nino's kind of left alone. This is a strong laner, the Phobias, that wants to kind of go and do it out. But since he's kind of left alone, you know, to just clear the waves, you can see he's falling behind you in the maneuverability. Bigatron, I guess, outmaneuvering Alter Ego, even though in theory, Alter Ego is supposed to be able to match this as well.
Yeah, the items now, Thunderbolt completed for Nino, and even the Talisman for Roundel to give them an extra cooldown reduction. But anything in particular you see, Arashi?
But they're starting on the side once again, followed by most likely the glowing one from Moreno.
Yeah.
So it's a combo that's kind of working really well for him. And on top of that, you saw, I think Super Can starting to build up some of the items. Not really at that maximum burst power spike just yet, but I think he's still willing to go in for the contest. Now he's 1 level down.
Turtle, half HP. Moreno stealing with the I'm Offended. Key Implosion! Over to the back. I'm Offended gonna be safe just now. As now goes with the off, but the combo is massive. Nino walks up forward. Damage coming down. Nile will fall. Nino getting another stack of Infernal Pursuit over to Super Luke, who will not be able to survive. A hold up just a second. This horse is a tanky boy. Heist gets the kill. That's a 3 for 1. But Turtle over to BTR.
They're not stopping here.
Moreno spots it, goes for the Terrify, flickers out, and Mon walking up. Now gonna be popped by the Infernal Pursuit. Nino decides against going in with the Infernal Pursuit. Bigatron disengages, Highs in the bottom lane, getting a free turret.
This is so valuable for Alter Ego. Look at Highs just spinning and gunning down that bottom side turret. They also able to collapse onto Bigatron Alpha on that little skirmish down bottom. But Key, with the conceal, looking for something, but no. Highs will just go away scot-free.
Man, Bigatron, they're getting great engages, but afterwards, they gotta be a bit more aware of the composition. When you're against a Logi and a Phobius, you get grouped up together by the yin-yang effect, and then just bounced on by Nino, getting hit by all the damage coming in from Owen as well, you know, just all the AoE. You gotta be careful in the spacing, right? Initially, after the implosion, go get your burst damage out, and then spread apart, man. You can't stick around together when you're against a team like Alter Ego. Looking at the player head-to-head here between Nile and Superken, one of the highlighted matchups, Superken definitely still has the edge, using that mobility and using the fact that Bigatron has been again and again using the diversion to target Nile in the jungle, right? Slowing down his farming speed. So even though in theory, the Nolan and the Alpha has the same clear speed, Bigatron is getting an advantage there in the jungle department, but that can only last for so long. I mean, Nile has already caught up.
Yeah, rolling one completed by Moreno, and if you take a look at Nino, he has 6 assists out of 7 kills that Alter Ego has. Nino has been present for most of the 6 times they fought. Now Super Luke might be the one to open the bush, but he might be caught.
I'm offended, used up already. Nino will go for Infernal Pursuit. Super Luke passing Revitalize. Moreno goes for a little bit of poke. Lord Pry over to BTR. Super Ken dealing with the wave in the mid lane. But take a look at Highs. Busy, always on this Moskov.
Always on the split push, always on the segue play, looking to just open up the side lanes. And Eman will be the one to catch it. And this is the way they will distract Bigatron Alpha, who really responds to this to this Moskov. But
Owen flickers, Spear of Alpha. Already used up. Key now with the implosion as well. Bursting it down. Owen, wow. Didn't expect him to disappear like that. Bigatron's got burst.
They will work on the Lord though, Nino. This is free. Back off. This is free. For Bigatron Alpha, Ultra Ego, they don't have anything to do with this. But Moskov will be up top, looking to get the turret. No, not even the turret. They get the Lord. And Bigatron Alpha, they grab everything they have.
Man, that's so good, man. The burst onto Owen. Like we said, the Ruby as well is a utility type of hero. She isn't really inherently tanky. And Eman, with that advantage, picks up the Wind of Nature. Still won't help him against Nino, against Nile as well with the true damage. But it's definitely a great addition there when it comes down to those tricky outplay moments, considering how close Eman has been playing. He's been right next, up close and personal to the members of Ultra Ego. Now with the Lord on their side, can they actually go for something here?
Glorious pathway to the diversion as well. Explosion from Key! Finding 3, great Purify, Spear of Alpha, baited out. Key getting the shove on the 3 now. Super Ken walking forward with the Fracture Nile. Very low. Will not be taken down. Now Eman walks forward, looking for all the weakness points. Will be able to find it. Eman gets the Inspire, but luckily, that's a winner crown. Nino low again with the assassination on the Fracture. Man, once the winner crown gets used up, they can't defend. Eman, wrong side of the base, pops into the Wind of Nature. Gets out of the base. Risky plays from BTR.
Super Ken gets the Fracture and the passive from the turret pops. Thankfully, they have that second life, that second win. But Bigatron Alpha, they're just running rampant and running it down against Ultra Ego. They lose Nino, they lose Highs. That was the perfect pincers movement coming in from Ultra Ego, rather from Bigatron Alpha.
I mean, dude, the fact that they were able to actually go in and out again and again, bait out resources from Ultra Ego was just so good. Now looking at the advantage here, 2.5k gold more or less for Super Ken, almost 1.5 for Moreno. Both of them in that previous fight dealt close to 10,000 damage on the hero that's essentially cooldown based. They're able to get in, get their damage out, hide away in safety, out of vision, and come back in. Ultra Ego, if they want any chance of winning this game, they have to find ways to force Bigatron Alpha to commit, the same way they did in the previous fight, where Ultra Ego were able to get all of the value. But with the adjustment from Bigatron, you're seeing it with how they position, with how they approach the fights, from 2 different angles, with starter timing. Ultra Ego are definitely struggling right here to get a right read, and because of that, even the diversion from Rondo hasn't really been able to be used to its full effect from Ultra Ego.
Yeah. Have to bank on a momentum, but it's so hard because Bigatron Alpha, they have way too many collapse tools they can use. Even Super Luke just constantly opening up his body. The Glorious Pathway looking to just run around Ultra Ego, and this is going to be a tough hill to climb. Even Bigatron Alpha just waiting for the momentum to catch Ultra Ego. Ultra Ego is just caged in their base. They don't have control of their own jungle. They don't even have control of the side lanes as well. Now then the question becomes, how does Ultra Ego really play this out? Will they play the base defense scenario?
I feel like the base defense scenario isn't as good as it was in game number 1. Now they have to find ways to kind of catch Bigatron Alpha in a combo, right? Group them together and then get all those AoE damage in. But Bigatron, look at that setup, dude. Gathering on the far side of the map away from the Lord to ensure that Highs does not have a safe time to really go for the sideline push. Now they see both the Loyi and the Moskov. Bigatron Alpha are going to try and force them to try and make a move, and they have done it.
Look at Moreno. He spotted the diversion. He spotted Moskov now in the mid lane, clearing out the wave. Bigatron Alpha with the Prio Key. Walking up forward now with the Spear of Alpha. He will not be able to find him with a crown. He's up SOD. Super Ken winning out the Red Tree battle as Nile will be locked down now with the Crossbow Tang as well. Again, Super Ken getting out. Crossbow Tang not getting rid of it. Eman now popping over to nature as Nino jumps for the pursuit. Luke for Nile, but the Lord again goes to the hands of BTR. Diversion play all the way to the back. Roundel. His position is compromised. Moreno walks up forward, goes in high. From Super Ken. Nino with the infinite pursuit, chasing Super Ken down. He should be taken out, but no, he gets out. Eman baits in infinite pursuit towards his side. Gets all the weakness points. Doesn't have the crossbow attack. Now defended, but Eman will be shut down. Moreno gets the trade over. Owen with a flicker forward, backwards rather. Now as the Lord has taken the base turret. I don't know if that was worth it. Ultra Ego fought when the Lord was up. Owen getting caught by the fracture. Moreno moving forward. The zone over. BTR 6,000 gold ahead. That is match point. 2-0.
The nail in the coffin in the last fight. They were able to match it out in the Lord Pit, but somehow with the stolen diversion, they're able to shut down the rotations from Highs, from Nino and Bigatron. They strike twice. Alter Ego on a thin thread they hold. One loss away from going home early.
Just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we're at match point. Bigatron Alpha going with a similar style. Both teams clashing once more in a action-packed, team fight heavy game. But in the end, Bigatron Alpha found the better adjustments, the better composition, and it really seemed like they are getting a better read out of Alter Ego. The second game looks even more dominant than the first one.
It is such a treat to the eye for the Bigot Troopers in the building, in El Dorado. They're playing it so clean. They're playing it in a systematic way, not giving Alter Ego the chance to really fight back and hit back. And even in some moments where Bigatron Alpha might look like they lose their grip on the game, they're able to give birth into moments like that. Either it's a key implosion, either it's a Moreno movement coming in. Alter Ego are just caged. And now what do? Game number 3 will be the last, or possibly the last game that Alter Ego might play in this season.
They're overthinking it. Alter Ego are hard. Like, they're literally just, they're overthinking it in the drafts. I understand that the X-Work is a big problem, especially if you go Gatot Edith, but if you want Prio, at least you'll get that, right? Here in the comp, it's kind of a mix. They wanted to do everything, and in the end, they couldn't do anything.
It's just too much, you know, jack of all trades, master of none, quite literally, and Alter Ego just isn't that kind of team. They can function with that flexible style. They've always been a more headstrong type of gameplay.
Moreno used the diversion more than Roundel, I think.
Yeah,
That's true.
the Phobius didn't join any fights up till the third turtle, I believe, as well. Bigatron were able to actually guide the course of the game so far away from the win conditions of Alter Ego.
My, oh my, what a game. And we, of course, will throw it back to the panelists to give their thoughts on this game.
Thank you so much, casters, for game number 2. And we're at match point 2-0 for Bigatron Alpha right now in our third Chaos Derby of the season. Goliath, let's start with you. How did you think that went down?
I don't see any Alter Ego's DNA on the first 2 games. Like prioritizing Alpha again with Nile, one of the best assassin user. I don't know what is on their mind.
I mean, technically, before we get to you, Chef, and technically, with their Alpha pick, they were able to get the early game prio, right? We saw the fast rotations that they had, especially with the Luoyi in the mid lane. And then we also saw that they were able to take that first objective. So it was different, a different start to game number 1 for game number 2. But do you agree with this still? Alpha still a problem?
I think right now, yes, they have to change gears. They have to change the whole plan, man. Because Alpha first pick for Nile is just not it for me, at least. And one thing that I really don't like is just the Phobius, the way he used. And it's not really Nino's fault as well, because he's on against 1-1, you know. Usually we see Phobius just jumping around in the, doing jumping jacks in the Land of Dawn, but this is not the case in this game. His capabilities is very limited. The fact that he used Winter Crown on second item is already very worrying, and it makes sense.
All right, now on the Phobius, we didn't see a Phobius Vengeance, we didn't see a Phobius Flicker, we actually saw a Phobius Revitalize. Was that a problem to Nino's gameplay, or
Nah, maybe
what was wrong with that?
here, when Phobius is using the Infernal Pursuit and then one using the Crossbow of Tank, I think he can immune some of the Crossbow of Tank damage, right? But he needs to make the Demonic's Eyes, the passive from Phobius is connected to the others. But on during team fights, I think Bigatron already knows that they didn't want to get close to the Phobius, so 1-1 can get all the full damage.
I think one of my main problems too is the way Alter Ego executed team fights. The fact they have Luoyi, okay? And they got Luoyi by Valentina. That is worrying. And Bigatron Alpha, so far, they have been the more practical team. They have been with a more flexible team in their approach in a team fight. And MVP, Eterna, who are you guessing?
It's no question. Absolutely no question. We're going to see a back-to-back MVP here, ladies and gentlemen. Player of the game presented to you by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. Against the Yi, no problem. Against the Luo Yi, no problem. This Valentina is now a problem for Alter Ego. Still with a very similar kit, right? We see the Brave Smite once again. And in terms of itemization, it was also very similar. But what really stood out to us especially was those diversion plays. That was the make it or break it moment for Alter Ego, in my opinion.
Yeah, Moreno stole the show. Like, this show is for Roundel to using the diversion for Luoyi to make the rotation, but now he's always using the IMU.
Yeah, unfortunately too for Alter Ego, the way they handle the diversions is not that great either. We can see one instance now, this is it. Nile, the Spirit of Alpha, kind of stuck the wall. And the other one, when Moreno used the diversion, it was quite well telegraphed, I think. It was a solid 3 seconds before Nile was getting ganked. And at that point, I think it is just, how do you counter it? Even when the diversion play, yeah, this one.
He didn't see the
3 seconds.
conceal.
And I think he didn't have the Spirit of Alpha, that is why he's a bit caught off guard.
But it's so interesting, right? Because even in the drafting phase, you mentioned, Colius, Roundel, Luo Yi. This is a power pick
Power pick.
for Roundel.
Yeah,
But it's interesting as well because even Mirko mentioned, I think the amount of times that Roundel used the diversion was much less than the amount of times that Moreno used the diversion.
Because Moreno is always stealing using IMU and always looking for where Nile is.
Looking.
Man, the way that Bigton Alpha takes the team fight is just so good to watch because it's not just one layer of team fight they're bringing. When the implosion is gone, they still want to pump on the gas. You know, the diversion is still there. Even when the crossbow tank is already neutered by the Winter Crown from Nino. Super Kent is coming in right out of nowhere.
Really, really great pincer movements coming in from Super Ken. There were so many moments that they were able to just eliminate Highs altogether, right? He was rendered completely useless on the Moskov. But it was a 14-minute game, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 2. In terms of emblems, did anything stand out that affected the course of the game?
Highs. Basic common emblem, firmness, tenacity, and the quantum charge are he's too afraid to getting like picked off by the opponents. It's too much defensive emblems on Highs, so where's the damage?
I think his plan is just to bang on the late game and his wave clear. Compared to Bigton Alpha, the wave clear is kind of lackluster when you think about it. And, you know, he's kind of relying on his late game potential, but he didn't quite get there at that point because Bigton Alpha is just way too clean with it. As we kind of take a look at the exact statistics here, the total department, just as regular season, Bigton Alpha leads the league in turtles taken. Alter Ego is nowhere near the top 5, so it just... Oh, wait, is that a turtle? Okay, I misread that. It's a Lord, right? The second one. My bad. So yeah, 2 Lords for Bigton Alpha, so the objective game was heavily favored towards them because they have a really good setup towards the Tigreal and also a way to zone out the members of Alter Ego in that Hylos.
Yeah, Luke's play his role very well as the Sunback to go in front of them and make it baiting for the other skills. And because Luke is already building like the blade armor, I think it's gonna be hard for Heist if he wants to like poking the Luke.
So yeah, it was much too difficult for Alter Ego. I don't know. What do we think about this? Is it a draft issue? Is it the execution that's still not on par? Well, we're gonna take a look at the statistics first. However, ladies and gentlemen, and the GPM once again goes to Super Ken, but this time he's not an assassin. He's on Nolan.
Yep, using Nolan, I think it have the high mobility. That's why he can collect the gold easily and collecting like 162 gold per minute.
Yeah, it is quite a good stat to see here. And total assists, by the way, it's led by Heist, I believe? Is that Heist? Oh, that's Roundel. Okay. So some signs of retaliation from Alter Ego, even though that's sick.
Oh no, it's Owen.
Oh, it's Owen. Didn't really mean anything in the end if you didn't get the W. And at this point, it's just, I think you gotta gamble on something. Nile Assassin or anything like that. Just bring out all the cards that you have because right now you are on your last lifeline.
This is it.
Yeah.
Might be their last game. So just play for it. Play like all out what they have.
Bigatron, let go of the Fanny. Come on, it's time.
I don't
You have,
think
you,
they're
have,
gonna do that.
you have a couple more lives here. We want to see the Fanny Ling showdown. Maybe Super Kim wants to pick up the Fanny instead, right?
And Ling
Put
from
Niall on the Ling, you know, make things interesting. But remember when we asked the audience, right? One of the points was make sure Owen gets a hero that can initiate. And he was on the Ruby, and yet still, it wasn't enough to win the game.
I think it give Niall Assassin.
Assassin 2, that was the highest.
That was the
So maybe that's the answer?
Maybe, but I think at that game, I think Owen kind of serves the purpose as a way to appeal to, because over the course of the game, Key was able to get some good implosions, right? And the cancels coming in from Rondel and also Owen was actually really good. I didn't really expect them to execute a team fight while Niall is actually getting locked down by the T-Girl, but unfortunately, oh man, Bigatron Alpha is just, I think way more experienced than Alter Ego at this point.
And that's even considering the fact that Bigatron still made errors
Yeah.
in their game. Right? We saw it was very
So Emma.
glaring in game number 2. Eman, very interesting.
Out of all the players, by the way, it's the PH one. I'm sorry, Filipinos.
Didn't say that.
I'm not taking any offense towards the Filipinos
I'm
out
not
there, but
involved in this.
usually this is a compliment, alright? Because Filipinos are known to be disciplined. But Eman at that time, 3 times, I think. You know, in the bottom lane, he took the short route and getting punished.
On the opponent's base.
On the opponent's base,
Undercurrent.
it's just the unnecessary moves needs to go away.
Maybe it's because he didn't get gifted something.
What do you need?
I'm talking about this. Happy birthday, by the way, Sheffin.
Oh my god.
I hope you like it. I
Thank you
hope
so
he
much.
likes it.
Oh my god.
While you unbox it and show, yeah, you have to unbox it.
Oh, okay.
Show the audience. You know, it's still
It's mine.
yours.
It's mine.
It is. But you know, show them what we got you, right, Colius? Because we're gonna
Ooh.
talk about the device that he's holding in his hand right now. Because did you know, ladies and gentlemen, there's something new from the Samsung Galaxy S24 family lineup, and that's the phone that he's holding onto right now, the Galaxy S24 FE. So for those of you who are looking for a phone with flagship performance but a budget-friendly price, the Galaxy S24 FE is the perfect choice because, Colius, tell us the price.
It's only around 9 million.
Wait, no
IDR.
way.
Only 9 million
It's
IDR.
below 10 million.
Exactly. With those specs. How nice does it feel in your hand right now?
Oh, it feels nice.
Because remember, this phone has the AI photo assist feature. So when you take selfies, Sheffin, you can look even more Sigma. Yeah, like that.
Maybe?
I guess that's amusing. But ladies and gentlemen, there is more because for all MPL viewers, you guys can get a free 25-watt travel adapter, a 200K IDR Google Play voucher, and a free permanent Mlbb skin when you buy it on Samsung.com/ID using the promo code Galaxy S24 FEX. MPL. So hurry up because this promo only lasts up until October 31st. That's Halloween. October 31st,
That's Halloween.
guys. So you have until Halloween to make it yours. Luckily, Sheffin already has it as a present.
And you can get an additional discount of 500,000 IDR for your first purchase on the Samsung Shop app. Wow.
Basically 8.5
Yeah.
for S24.
Yes.
That is
You get the AI features. You get the amazing, camera quality. The hertz, the refresh rate,
I mean, it's used for MPL, right?
battery. That's true. Maybe super. I'm blanking out. Super Eman.
Super fun.
Super Iman.
I have to say super. Super Eman wasn't holding what you're holding right now.
right now.
I think you stole his. Did you? Is that actually his?
Might be, I don't know. You're the one who gave it to me.
That's-
Yeah.
Did you stole it?
Maybe I did steal it.
Wow.
Hey, Turner is a thief?
It's okay. Sheffin's more important to me.
Whoa.
Oh.
Funny, I didn't say that. Okay, I'm
I didn't
not.
mean that
Okay,
in
okay,
a
okay, okay.
romantic way.
Okay, okay.
But
sorry.
anyway, yeah, get yours now, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's move on to the game
No.
number 3, though.
No, I can't.
What?
I can't. I don't
No,
want to
from
say
Samsung?
goodbye.
If you look
It's
outside,
alter ego.
it's heavy rain outside. Even the sky is crying.
Oh, that's why we're wearing black, by the way, guys.
Uh-huh.
You guys are wondering why are the panelists all wearing black? It's because we're in mourning for the two teams that we have to say goodbye to today.
Yeah, we're mourning for Onyx and also Alter Ego.
Do you say geek?
No, Alter Ego and Onyx.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not gay?
Yeah, for
He
sure.
said geek, right? Guys, he said geek, right?
No,
Yeah.
Alter Ego and Onyx.
You can clip it.
Alter ego and Onyx.
You can clip it and tag it to Shippin.
I mean, I thought he was a fan. But let's take a look at the top 5 turret secures. We have 5 players up on the board here. Turret secures Domeng at 137, Super Marco at 134, Kalura at 108. We have Eman slipping through here in the top 5 at 84, as well as Zing on 81.
But it's all Philippines, right?
That's true. Why is it
Filipinos.
Philippines?
Hey, to be fair, their playoffs just ended and we kind of lack match.
Oh yeah.
That's probably the case. We have
Okay,
9 teams now. Do they have 9 or 8?
I don't know.
I forgot to.
I have to ask Mirko. Mirko, how many teams do MPLPH have? 8? Okay. Well, there you go.
8 teams.
Thank you, Mirko.
But I just
Always
love,
there.
I love the playoffs right now, man. Because like, usually, over the last few seasons, we kind of have to delude ourselves that Onyx not gonna win, but they won eventually. Right now, we have actual contenders here in Mpl-Id Indonesia Season 14.
I agree.
You didn't mean it's Gitfang, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't. I
I don't
honestly
think so.
Wow.
It's okay. Let him, drown in his delirium.
Uh-huh.
It's okay.
So you're calling all Geek Fam fans delusional?
I mean, if they
Against
look, hearing the rumors
Yeah?
and looking at FNOC performance in the
Last week.
few matches that they were in, I think it's going to be close, but I don't think Geek can take this. But let's ask the audience. What do you guys think? How can Alter Ego come back from this? Because again, they're at match point right now. They lose one more game, and it's goodbye
Deal.
for Alter Ego in the playoffs. And it looks like 56% give Nile an assassin, 29% pressure the Eman lane, and 15% ban Keys Tigreal. So they still don't think that Valentina Moreno is a problem.
Oh.
Because it's too expensive, I think, if you want to ban Valentina in this current meta.
Yeah.
But like we already know that Nile is like the carrier of Alter Ego when he's using assassins. That's why we didn't see Nile carrying the team on the first game and the second game. I think it might be the answer, but how about the others synergy? Like the others heroes, like are Owen gonna have a comfortable heroes and everything, because Nile itself cannot make the Alter Ego won the game number 3.
It is tough, man. And speaking of comfortable, right? Pikachu Alpha, I just realized in game number 1 and game number 2, 3 picks are the same.
Yep.
So they don't really need to change anything in game number 3 if it's still working.
Is it ego pick?
The famous, Mirko quote, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I don't think Mirko invented that.
Yeah, he didn't, but he was the one that made it popular.
That's broke.
We have to... Anyway, in terms of picks, right, we do see, again, Alter Ego have opted for first pick. Do you think that they should make any changes in the bans for the first phase?
For Alter Ego, because they have first pick, I think Bigatron didn't want to let Suyo again lose. But for the first pick, I love the ideas when Aethernash said that Link might be the good option for Nile. So because it might be their last game, so go for it. If they feel comfortable.
I guess you have to really rely on Nile's skill ceiling because that's where he shines the most. Not on these alpha picks, but he's getting bullied over and over again in objective battles. You have to actually take bodies instead of take turtles.
So let's see whether or not Nile will shine in game number 3 as we get into the draft phase, ladies and
Oh no! Okay.
by our official term is smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. Alter Ego go for the Harith. This is very similar bans, except the Wanwan does get banned out here by Alter Ego. We're waiting on that first pick. And it's Jushin. Jushin was let go.
Finally, yeah.
Yeah, so right now, I think Burak will save the Yip on the third pick. What's going to be the option here for them? In this case, Kacha is still open, Eder is still open, so a lot of flex and also a lot of sustainability against this Jushin. The route here, like they can take so many heroes right now. Suyo is still open too.
No.
Suyo's banned.
banned.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 2 bans for Mr. Nile Man, right? Fanny as well as the Suyo.
And again, Jushin is, I think, it's a tricky one if they want to use the frontline heroes like Kacha or even Khalid, because Jushin can easily using the Lantern Flare on them and toss them back.
Yeah, I agree. Jushin is a very strong hero, I would say, against even utility junglers. So do Bigatron want to bet on that? They don't. They go for the Nolan and the Hylos once again. Alter Ego, are you going to bring out the Assassins here? Maybe last pick?
I think Ling would be great here because Bura is presumably gonna pick Yeef here and that is a really bad pick against a Ling. And right now, Pikachu Alpha is playing Alter Ego's game in the first game. The Yeef and Hylos, presumably too. But I don't know if Bura will go that route because that's usually the route that every coach has taken in the regular season so far. And I believe Yeef against Azushin, the win rate is still 100% on towards Yeef in the regular season.
Right, see, but I don't know if there have been changes from the last update, but if I'm not mistaken, Nolan does well against the Ling. So that Nolan pick essentially denied the Ling pick away from Alter Ego, or was it the other way around?
Yeah, the way around. Because it's really hard for you to get away from...
Well, either way,
Alpha.
Edith and Alpha once again.
Another alpha for Niall, I think. But with Edith, I think the crowd control, it can be useful when they want to catch Nolan. And Yip, like you predicted before, it's the best matchup against the Juxin. But we need to see for the gold lane because most of the gold laners are gonna facing a hard time when facing against Yip.
So you might want to put some emphasis towards the mobility of the gold laners. Right now, the 1-1 is already banned, the Herald is already banned. The only option that offers mobility is the Claude, which Heist is comfortable at, but it's not really the greatest pick also in this meta as Bura bans the Kacha. Oh man, this is a tough one.
So what are our options, right? Because most of the marksmen that we see in this current meta, they're very short range. I think Claude does make sense against the Eve.
Because he can just enter using the battle mirror image and do the blasting duet. But I really don't understand of Alter Ego's draft during this playoff or during this match because Pikachu is like letting Gatot Kaca is the power pick for Owen and Niall is kept using Alpha. I think maybe they have some plan, but it didn't work on the first and the second game.
Yeah, that might be the case. Bura bans the Phobius right here, and even though he doesn't have that XP laner just yet, because if they actually pick it too, it's gonna be bad for them because Edith and also Alpha is a really bad matchup against the Phobius. And I like that the bans from Alter Ego the second phase. The two heroes that really gave you a lot of trouble in game number 1 and game number 2, especially in the objective setup. And this is going to be a Beatrix for Eman. Oh man, so we can kind of assume it's gonna be a set hero for Bura.
Wait, what if this Hylos goes into the EXP lane and...
I think EXP.
And then we see a roam pick here
like
for
Kaja?
Kaja, Franco, honestly.
Kaja Beatrix might be a good option.
What about Atlas?
Oh,
I love the idea.
I'm not really the fan.
Yeah, we need to wait the two heroes, I think.
Okay, predictions. Last 2 picks for Alter Ego.
So right now they need a gold laner and also roam/EXP laner that can kind of dive towards the Eve and also the Beatrix. Oh man!
Hey, Benedettanino.
It comes out!
The type.
Yeah.
The
We were talking about it.
Benedettanino and Clint for high ground heroes, but like obviously dependent on Edith. What do you think, Shifrin?
Oh man, I'm still this Clint, man. I know it's good in the lane against Beatrix. It's good against anyone. But when you look at the bigger picture, it is going to be a tough game. You have a dive hero in Nolan. You have pretty much a hero that you really cannot ignore in Hylos, and also the long-range artillery in this Yeef. And it's going to be that Ruby to top it all off, which this might be an EXP Ruby, knowing that it's Benedetta EXP. It does well against it, and it kind of is Super Luke's favorite hero.
Oh no, is that a counter in the EXP lane? So Alter Ego are only holding the Clint in the gold lane as their strong lane.
For Benedetta tank, I don't think it's really that much of a problem, especially if you took the Revitalize, because you can trade some damage and actually clear the lane faster than a Ruby, so I don't think that's gonna be much of a problem for Nino.
And don't forget that Benedetta can distract them.
Yeah.
Okay, match point. Coleus, who are you holding?
Alter Ego.
Alter Ego. Sheffin?
I mean, at this point, anything happens in the draft, I'm still taking Bickerton.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, things are getting more intense than ever. One more possibility, one more chance. We're gonna throw it over to the casters to cast in game number 3 in this best of 5 series.
One shot, one chance. Their year might end right here. Will they be unmasked Or will they prevail to force a game number 4 Ultra Ego, everything on the line?
Wow. Man, we were assuming a lot of picks would be coming through there. The Atlas could mention over. I thought for sure, after seeing the Clint, they baited Heiss into picking someone that can't go for the Purify. We were all screaming, Atlas, Atlas, Atlas. No, we won't get the Atlas. Keep on the horse. Something we are actually not used to seeing in the regular season.
Yeah, interesting picks as well. Nino with the signature Benedetta. But this time around, the build, I think, will be much more defensive like we saw from Mpl-SG in the hands of Diablo. Now the emblems though, Arashi. What do you think about this?
Master Assassin for both gold laners. They definitely want to go toe-to-toe there. And on the side of the junglers, it's going to be the Season Hunter. It's going to be Impure Rage for the Alpha as well. Extra bit of damage, good mana in the jungle, because you want to spam all those spells. And look at the tenacities from the side of Ultra Ego, man. Especially having the Sushin in the mid lane. They want to make sure that they have weakness, but look at that reaction!
The flicker reaction time, more of a prediction actually, you know?
Yeah.
Instead for the Edith. Nile though, getting a lot of prio. Everybody rotating mid.
Yeah, mid is the main focal point, the epicentrum of everything. Both these teams in the first few minutes of the game. And now, Beatrix against Clint. What do you think about this lane?
Beatrix against Clint?
Yeah.
Yeah, Clint definitely has a more trade advantage, but Beatrix has a lot more ways to kind of change the lane dynamic. Switch up your weapons, go for poke, go for a quick wave clear. And when it comes down to it, there's still an option for Bigatron to just allow that lane to just get cleared again and again. And that way the Clint can't really abuse that strong early game to try and shut down Eman. The mid lane though is where you have to keep your eyes on, because this is the Chushin that's been so oppressive, especially after the changes, right? No mana cost on that Lantern Flare, and using that, Ultra Ego definitely having a bit more prio here.
Way more prio. Key would just take a bit of damage, pops in Revitalize, Spear of Alpha, they're all the combo down. Key taken down, first blood over to Nino. Super Luke looking for a play. I'm offended. Oh, whoa! Weird interaction with the I'm offended dash.
Yeah.
But Super Ken is staying busy. We'll use a retribution to go for the steal on the purple buff. And you will get it. Owen looking for the chase, just gets poked by Heiss.
Super can counter jungles, get something out of nothing, thankfully though. But for Ultra Ego, they have the advantages on both sides, the kills and the total as well. Bigatron Alpha, they are on the pounce though. They're not looking to stop down the aggression.
It's kind of played slow here. As long as Bigatron don't commit and go into the range of the Tsushin, they can keep just poking and harassing, right? That's the advantage they have right here with all the slows, especially the combo coming in with the Glover's Pathway and the slows from the Void Crystals of the Eve. Man, that is a slow field of area that all Trigger have to try and walk through, right? But look at the Super Luke.
Flickers out of the Lantern Flare. Super Ken with the retry.
Interesting. A blown away spell by Super Luke, that might be much crucial in the coming minutes because they will try to collapse onto the players of Bigatron Alpha, Ultra Ego though. They're taking their time, like how Arashi mentioned. They really, really want to be able to scale slowly into the game.
But again, on the way bot side though, Super Luke.
No flicker for Luke. And Nile might go for the Spear of Alpha. Actually does get it. Super Luke in the midst of it all caught. Nile picks up the kill. A good gank over from Ultra Ego.
Way too much damage coming through. The early game true damage coming in from the Alpha, man. Even when the Sushin, in theory, is just all utility based, not too much damage, having an Alpha allows you to output all that damage. But you have to be careful, man. Super Ken is keeping up on curve, actually having an EXP advantage against Nile on the Alpha. So the backliners need to be very careful. Rondo is on a safe kind of... Oh, hang on a minute.
Nino opens it up. Might be forced to use Revitalize here.
Okay.
Use the final blow. That's already a big resource. No final blow. Team fight, Bigatron Alpha looking strong in the turtle. Super Luke rotating already. Has that offend. Owen! Or Shadow Flaker now finding the onward as well. Now it's going to be full collapse. Moreno will be reflected. Oh! Nile caught again, and Super Ken claims the double. And no turtle. It's just a double. Sheriff Heiss is on the case.
It's high noon, but for everybody it is going to be a slaughter. Nino looking for the 1v1 towards Super Luke, but he won't be able to get anything because Super Luke is just way too sustainable in that mid lane.
A lot of damage coming from Heiss still, but there's going to be all the covered gold taken by Bigatron. Unfortunately for Bigatron, they're unable to get anything in the middle of the map because of the wave clear coming in from the Benedetta. This tank build, a revitalized Benedetta, is definitely a nice pick. You know, it's quite flexible, but Super Ken?
They might be too early. Nope.
Oh!
Beacon Super Ken taken out. Roundel with a Crimson Beacon, able to just go in there and get him.
A lot of good chase for Ultra Ego, man. This is the problem. Bigatron Alpha now against spammable, overwhelming crowd control, they kind of have to play it a bit safer here, especially with Moreno being on a Yve as well. He's not the same mobile, dangerous kind of mid laner that he was like on the Valentina. Now it's Nino that's being flashy, being in and out. So with Niall being on the alpha, can Nino pick up the slack and use all that mobility and flashiness to try and get something? Looking at the items, have to see he's completed 4 highs, so definitely a lot of burst damage potential. But with the BOD completed, Eman will be doing a lot of burst damage. And if Altrigo don't space out properly in the fights, a big Bandit's Rage or Nibiru's Passion is gonna shred through the whole roster.
Yeah, thankfully enough for... Oh, Owen is able to just pop in and go his pathway.
Yeah, Owen locked down. Super Lou, I'm offended as well. Owen getting caught by the fractured key. Loses life too. It's a 1-for-1. Both roamers falling down.
This is the main premise of picking up the Clint is just to cut through the front lines, to cut through the tankiness of Bigatron Alpha. And it will scale pretty scarily come to the late game, don't you think?
I mean, scaling is definitely there for the side of both teams technically. But ooh, look at the mid lane, man. The control for pressure.
Oh,
Roundel!
Lethal Ignition tick. Roundel able to regen in time. Super can level lead over Niall. And without the mid laner, Bigatron might just take the skirmish. Niall actually reset the turtle. Will give Bigatron a bit more control. Owen has the flicker. Can go for the Earth Shadow flicker combo. Iman rotating already towards the turtle.
They want to buy time here and allow Moreno to poke everyone down. That could be a valid option for Bigatron. You don't really have to rush this. Now that Rondo is back though, definitely a different dynamic here. And look at Nino already setting up.
I'm offended. Bandit's Rage. Owen deleted before he could do anything. Nino in the back line. Spirit of Alpha connecting. Super Ken running away now. That's the eye for an eye over to Super Ken, who's able to dodge away. That's a free turtle over to Niall. Rondo pushing some damage. Super Luke. Lantern Flare barely on and picks him up to throw him to the guns of Sheriff Highs.
Alter Ego will not go down without a fight. Perfect execution. Nino in the backline being the executioner, just zoning out Super Ken. And this Benedetta might be the key to really stopping that pressure from Bigatron Alpha. But Alter Ego, all in all, a solid lineup.
They're doing great at a 1.5k gold lead, but they have to try and set their targets on the structures right here. Take out a lot of it as early as possible, because Bigatron, that late game high ground damage is absolutely there, and they have a strong front line that can't really be ignored, that can't really be skipped over, right? Nino can maybe dash towards the back line, but that's about it. So they have to try and use all of this advantage to leverage all that to try and go into the jungle, to try and take down these turrets early on here before Bigatron gets some more items that can allow them to wave clear a lot more efficiently.
And the question is, what do you think about the siege coming in from Alter Ego, Arashi? Do you think it'll be effective coming into the base later on?
It really isn't that good, honestly. The Sushin doesn't really do a lot of, doesn't have a lot of range, doesn't have a lot of damage as well, right? With the Lantern Flare just ticking down slowly but surely. The Clint is the only thing that they have at their disposal to help with the poke, to help taking down the turrets. But look at this trade coming from Bigatron. The Beatrix damage.
Power of the Bennett. Yeah, Nino will just be there to catch the wave, and Super Luke and Iman will just force their way back. And Alter Ego, they might be able to just open up their eyes and look for cross-map plays maybe, because their bottom side turret all going to be broken down. The top wave is pushing now, and Super Ken will be there to get it.
Let's remember that now the max HP for Key actually scales better in the late game, technically compared to the early game. So he has kind of leveraged this situation as well, right? Find ways to kind of use more of the utility as of for now, in order to like not be the main front line that can just tank everything. Because Roundel now picks up that Sky Piercer, and that's a lot of ways for him to proc that Sky Piercer due to the spammable nature of the Tushin.
The Lord setting their sights on this. Alter Ego might be playing a dangerous game. Bigatron Alpha also eyeing for this Lord, and Nino in the backline just will be the flanker.
Owen getting the onward down. Niall wins it out. Super Ken running away. Owen gonna be gunned down by the Nibiru's Passion, but the real world ablation catches them in the back. Highs was caught, soloed, isolated from the rest of the team. And it's a 3-for-0. A 3-for-1 snipe over. Iman not finding it.
The Lord feels so bland for Alter Ego. They lost 3 members, 2 of them core members. And Bigatron Alpha, they fight back, they bite back. Nino looking for something.
Nino still able to escape. Super Ken gets to purple though, and this will be a free turret in the mid lane. This Lord advantage is for Bigatron Alpha.
It's only the first Lord as well, so Bigatron Alpha can easily clear out the waves, clear out this Lord as well. And they're actually gonna get a lot more value from this situation. But Super Luke
Pushing it over to Roundel. Owen with the onward as well. This should be Super Luke dying. Roundel gets the Sky Piercer stack.
A bit too far out alone without the damage from his team to kind of help him out. And looking at the situation like right here, Bigoton Alpha, I think they're at that point where they can clear very, very easily, man. Especially with the Wishing Lantern competed for Moreno as well. Even the frontliners, all these fighters that are giving Alter Ego so much fighting power, staying power, gonna be a lot more vulnerable with that max HP damage. You see they're already taking from Moreno.
Yeah, and Zusan will of course be the main zoning tool for Alter Ego to make their way. Oh, Heiss almost gets assassinated. And Owen will be there to peel for him, but look at Nino doing light work up top, looking to just chop down the turrets slowly but surely, but Super Luke will be there to respond, and now Alter Ego, at least, they're able to tone down the pressure, and they have the side lane pressure constantly on the hunt to just threaten Bigatron Alpha and their objectives.
Another big issue for Alter Ego is how do they deal with the burst damage coming in from Iman. Super Ken just waiting around, finding an opportunity to jump onto Roundel or Highs. So for Alter Ego, if they jump on anyone except for anyone but Iman, then Iman can just stay in the back and just gun all of these fighters down in the front line. So they have to try to find a way to either send Nino to the back maybe to distract him and stop the channels of those ultimates, or, you know, just jump on him outright.
Eye for an eye from Nino. That's a turret tier 1 up top for BTR.
Yeah, almost close. Nino almost got himself killed, but he's all fine. It's Benedetta, after all, has that mobility to just rack up the damage and want the crowd control towards the backside. When a nature now for Heiss, is this protection enough for him from the burst?
It's going to help a lot against Super Ken in particular, and he is one of the only big burst damage sources. And technically, in the midst of a big fight, it can also help him survive against something like a Nibiru's Passion or Bennett's Rage. So it's a great pickup for the Clint, definitely. But again, Alter Ego's problems are still the same, right? They don't really have a crazy strong front line. They have the Edith, but the Edith is going to be transitioning to a bit more of a damage dealer, especially when he pops that Primal Wrath. So Bigatron have the more solid front-to-back composition, and they have more range to play around with right now with the Renner, as well as the poke coming in from Moreno. So you can see Owen is going to be struggling so much here. Alter Ego are going to be forced to make a move desperately.
Look at that, onward, coming down. Naya winning on the retro battle, but gets caught in the tough spot. Now Roundel about to be assassinated. He finding the pick off Nino in the midst of it all, finding the final blow to get key down. Moreno with a poke. Owen, can he survive? That's a lot of damage. Real world manipulation from Moreno. The stun not connecting, but now High pushes forward. Looking for the kills, but now with the nature, can he do it? Gunning him down slowly but surely. But Super Ken does too much. They overwhelm Alter Ego with damage. But remember, Niall got the Lord. Nino, look at the purple buff. It will be taken by Super Ken. No solo kill here.
Heiss is insanely aggressive. Flickers forward for the kill. But thankfully, Nino was there to sustain him a lot more longer with the Revitalize. But again, that is insane. 3 for 3.
But with 3 members down, Alter Ego, they already lose out in the high ground department, and now they don't really have ways to use this Lord either. Super Ken though, ooh, gets out with that movement there, but Nino is definitely on the hunt.
Roundel. Oh.
Super Ken might go for a steal.
Fracture, lethal ignition ticking. No, he has the regen. He gets out, but he's very low.
Oh, that was so close. Super Ken looking to get the second bite of the cherry with that movement, but thankfully Roundel is still able to survive. And now, it becomes very scary for Alter Ego. The Beatrix damage is just nasty. How do they deal with this?
They're just trying to find a way to get onto him. Otherwise, there's no really way for them to really out-damage the Beatrix. Even when the Clint is at full items, he'll have a lot of burst, but once the skills are down, once he can't really trigger the passive any longer, it's going to be a lot more difficult. Whereas Iman, if he's on the Nibiru, he's going to be just shooting away, gatling away, doing all sorts of damage to the backline. The saving grace for Alter Ego, though, is they have a EXP laner that's a lot tankier than you would expect, with a lot of mobility. So you can see that he's been very actively playing on the side lanes, trying to pull apart Bigatron from their so solid front-to-back composition. And if they're able to catch Bigatron mid-rotation, right, then it's gonna work out fine. But if they stretch out too far, that's where Super Ken has been able to punish them as well. So there's a fine balance here in the composition, in the positioning of both teams when they're moving around the map. And that is where the difference is gonna be made.
Yeah, Bigatron Alpha balances all things, and now Super Ken also has that Sea Halberd to deal with a few of the anti-heals and anti-regens towards Alter Ego. Roundel gets the winner crown righteously. He needs to be able to sustain the burst coming from Bigatron Alpha. So does Super Luke with the same build and same buy that he made. And now the question becomes, how long will Alter Ego survive? Because they need to look for a moment. They need to look for one big play that might change the course of the game. But for now, Bigatron Alpha is the one who's dictating the whole game.
They have more control because they do have the Hylas, right? The strong frontline difference. The fact that Alter Ego, if they really want to take out the Hylas, they definitely can. But with the Radiant Armor, Dominance Ice, with the Revitalize available as well, it's going to take a bit too much time. And that allows Bigatron, if they're in the right position, to capitalize. With a Demon Hunter Sword, though, Owen.
They go on to Super Luke now with what? Again with the winner crown as well. Moreno now with the real mobilization. Niall is going to be caught up in the viewer's passion. Nino as well. Great, I'm offended to get Roundel. Engaged there, and Man with nature. Nino waiting in the bush. Very sabar. Very patiently. But will not be able to utilize that patience. That was such a rushed engage, I feel.
Yeah, it was so prompted in a way that the follow-up was just so forced. And Alter Ego, no patience in their name. So ironic on how patient that Nino wants to be.
Man, that was a split-second decision for sure for Owen, man. He saw a chance to jump on the back line, the exact solution we were talking about earlier, but the follow-up just wasn't on point, wasn't in the right position. And against Bigatron, you can't do that. Iman dealt 15,000 damage in that fight, dude. Again, if he is allowed to just fully channel all of the spells, all of the ultimate damage, that's crazy. And even the basic attacks with the Nibiru, you saw what happened, man. Even Nino was chunked down to almost half HP with a single basic attack. That's some serious damage coming in from from Iman right here. And with the Lord at their backs, Bigatron have enough high ground pressure to look for an end angle.
Oh, this siege is going to be ridiculous from Bigatron Alpha. They have a Renner, they have a Bennett.
Oh, look at that, Roundel.
They have that poke. Roundel taking a half HP already, and still the Enhanced Lord is marching down in the bottom lane that they are going to try to get 2 waves on. Another wave in the mid lane, and now that's going to be the Enhanced Lord charging down. Niall, can he do it? Oh, going to be an initiation again with the Bennett's Rage, taking a lot of HP. They got the Primal Rat, now Nino engaged upon. Used up the final blow. Fracture from Super Ken. Good maneuvers from inside of Alter Ego, but is it enough to keep the turret intact though? Renner, luckily Owen tanked that. Bigatron Alpha, 1 base turret is all they're gonna get with that first Enhanced Lord.
Just see what happened right there. The 3 members chunked down to half HP before the fight even broke out. That's the late game Yeve damage, man. Moreno is absolutely lethal right here. And Bigatron has one more chance to play on the top side.
Oh man, Renner, the Iman damage is ridiculous. Even to the turrets, he's just slowly but surely taking it down. Niall, already the Spear of Alpha, now real world manipulation!
Oh no.
With a crown of timing has to be perfect for Renner too, in case Moreno didn't time it to perfection. No Niall. And another wave forming. 40 seconds for the jungle of Alter Ego. Do or die. This is 2-0. It's match point for BTR.
Slowly crumbling pieces to pieces. Their mask slowly unseated. And now, for Bigatron Alpha, they take their sweet time.
20 seconds.
But this siege might be scary. Owen has to do the defense. And Key opens up the glorious pathway.
Owen, you're gonna have a
Roundel.
A massive engage. Roundel dies. Nino with a desperate final blow. He gets out with the eye for an eye, but now Owen will have to use a Primal Rat. That's a winner crown from Super Luke. Super Ken dealing with the top right now. Is that Highs taking the kill over? Bigatron Alpha will Highs with the flicker. Woo! Bigatron will stay disciplined. They're happy with just 3 base turrets. They got the dub.
Highs is trigger happy. Flickers forward. That could be the end of him. A double-edged sword, but thankfully he lives to see another day. Alter Ego, they defend their base.
A desperate defense from Alter Ego, and it has paid off. On the cost of Roundel, they're able to actually stave off the aggression, but their problems, it seems that they've only just begun. With no base towers available, with the Lord spawning in right here, Roundel will be on the map, but Bigatron Alpha just have an abundance of damage. Unless a big moment is found, Alter Ego can't do much.
Yep. They're bursting it. They're going to try to put all their bags into this. Do or die. Key jumped to half HP already. Jumps in again. Super Ken finds it. Niall falls under the real world manipulation. Moreno buys the winner crown. Nino going forward. Super Ken has the immortality. Now Nino with the revitalized. Gunned down by Iman. That's a winner crown from Moreno. Can he buy the immortality? No, he cannot. Iman with a dash forward with a nature as well. Super Luke with I'm offended. Catching him. Great immortality buy. But Highs will be gunned down. Iman buys the immortality. And there's a big evolved Lord that has been taken by Super Ken.
A game of inches and Alter Ego. They might be stripped down into pieces Vegatron Alpha wanting to terminate Ultra Ego right here, right now. Will they be able to hold? Will they be able to force a game number 4? It looks so bleak for them.
Roundel doing all that he can. Super Ken just going at the base
Crystal.
Biru as well. The base wide open. They'll go for it. Alter Ego have been eliminated by Begatron Alpha on day 1. A clean sweep to start the playoffs in Season 14.
The red robots go online. Terminators, as they say. And Ultra Ego unmasked. They have to bow out. And the playoffs no longer sees them inside of it.